from our producer that we backed our chopper off of the scene because we are on a live stream right now and we cannot be giving away the strategic positioning of the SWAT team.
Zoomed out.
Obviously, police are trying to bring the situation to an end. We don't know if the suspect has access to the live stream.
That's a good point.
So this is in extreme caution for what's going on here, and to let the police officers do the work that they need to do in the SWAT team, because who knows what's going on inside of that house right now and what that suspect has access to or not. Yeah. So we have taken a wider view.
So they backed out. It says there's suspect Terran Green, oh, that's the guy's name, was accused of shooting another Harris County deputy on Wednesday, is possibly barricaded at the 11500 block of Silhouette Ridge near Summer Creek High School.
Live stream, we don't want to do that, so we're going to pull away from it regardless. But now, with this potentially impacting their strategy, we want to make sure that we are being respectful to all law enforcement officers as they engage with this officer right now.
It's just unbelievable to see this all play out live right here on this live stream and see those images from Sky Fox. It really is incredible, the magnitude of this scene. We will continue to follow this, though. We'll be live on our live stream, well, shortly after 9, I believe.
Yeah, we're gonna
have we have a baseball game going on air on Fox 26. So as soon as that wraps up, we'll
they gotta do the baseball game.
We'll definitely
forget the suspect.
Updated through our Fox 26 news app, on our website, anyway, on our social media, any way that we can. Our reporters are on the ground. Matt Seedorf will have a live report for us with the latest information, and we're waiting for that press conference to take place, so we'll know a lot more at that point. But information's changing very quickly.
Yeah, we're looking at screens here off camera, things developing, so make sure you guys are going to fox26houston.com for more details. We'll see you back here on air at 9.
All right, so they said there's a press conference coming up.
.com for more details. We'll see.
I'm just kind of curious too. Let me see real quick. Oh, here we go.
As well, in that press conference, he made it a point to say, and I want to quote him here, so give me a second. The sheriff during that press conference gave us a brief update, but he also said, and I quote, "This is all hands on deck. It is unacceptable, and we are not going to accept it," speaking specifically to violence and harm coming to one of his deputies. So then a blue alert was issued. And that blue alert, basically, if you're not familiar, everyone across the state received it. And that blue alert basically lets people know that a law enforcement officer was harmed, missing, or there's an active search for someone who may have caused harm to a law enforcement officer. Let's get back to the scene here with Matthew Seedorf, who's been there for coming up on about 45 minutes or so as we continue to get some more details. Matt, again, fill us in. You got there and you got word that 2 additional law enforcement officers were shot. If you can, speak to their condition, or at least what we know so far in the preliminary stages of the investigation.
Yeah, it's still early, but preliminary, we believe that those 2 officers, 2 members of law enforcement, one of them possibly U.S. Marshal and another one a Harris County Sheriff's deputy, were serving some sort of warrant, or they believe that Taran was inside this home, and then gunshots were exchanged. 2 of them were hit. So Taran is now accused of shooting 3 members of law enforcement in about 24 hours. As for those 2 today, we're told that they were taken to a hospital with believed to be non-life-threatening conditions. And we're still seeing more members of law enforcement show up to where we are. We're about a half mile from where this home is, where he's believed to be barricaded inside. We're waiting on some sort of press conference. The tough thing right now, actually, is just getting around this area. So much is blocked off. The press conference is going to be behind us. You might be able to see where this Caliber collision is. The sheriff wants the press conference there, but all the roads are closed, so it's just very fluid right now. We're trying to figure it all out as we can see more members of law enforcement arriving, as we believe this man is still barricaded inside the home. And again, that's about a half mile from where we're located right now.
And Matthew, I want to talk about the weapon here for a second, because last night, the deputy that was shot twice in the torso Do we have any information about that weapon? And then, I mean, if there's another scene developing here and this Terran Green is accused of shooting officers, 1+1, we would assume he has access to more weapons as well.
Yeah, one of my sources today was telling me that it might have been believed that Taran disposed of his weapon that was used for the shooting yesterday in some sort of body of water. From what I'm learning, that deputies across the Houston area were diving and looking in a body of water, never found that firearm. But, you know, as a convicted felon out on bond, he's not even supposed to have a firearm to begin with. So it's no telling if he actually did dispose of that gun and put it in the water yesterday, or if he's had that gun, or if this is a different gun. It's all up in the air right now.
Yeah, so many moving parts. And Matt, as you were speaking about the his bond, he was.
They said Terran Green has a criminal history that dates back to June 2007. He was arrested and charged for evading arrest with a motor vehicle twice and theft. In December 2011, Terran Green was charged with possession of marijuana with the intent to sell twice. Okay, he was arrested. Okay, December 2017, Terran Green was arrested for aggravated assault of a deadly weapon. He was out on bond. Amazing. So they pulled back from the live feed and cut it off. There's supposed to be a press conference coming up. They pulled back because they said in case this guy that's barricaded, Terran Green, is watching the feed, they didn't want to give away any kind of strategy. It looked like the SWAT was there. They had a bear there too. The bear machine.
He was previously sentenced to 2 years for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And then on April 1st, he posted a $55,000 bond on 2 other charges, including pulling a gun on his girlfriend and threatening to kill her.
Wow.
Not to mention a second offense of felony possession of a weapon. So we are talking about someone who is not
was another feed
afraid, and someone who has caused harm to multiple people. And
let's see, hold on. Pause it here. We got a live feed. I mean, I'll take the live feed and I can talk over it even if they don't have audio. Oh wow, check this out, bro. This looks crazy as shit. This is live. Here we go. Okay, there's no sound. Bro, doesn't it look crazy? What the hell? Can we get this for the thumbnail? Holy crap. What the hell happened to the windows? All right, let me update the thumbnail. Snazzy Trinkets Jewelry, thank you so much for the super chat. Says Grizzly Hood is there on the ground live. Oh, nice. Grizzly Hood. Okay. Zia TC, thank you for the super chat. Says good work. Mel, thank you so much. Let's see what we can find out. What else we can find? Well, let me update this thumbnail. Try to wake up. I've been doing like a bunch of things on a bunch of errands. I literally just walked in the door. Okay. Let's see if we can do a little update. So they've been after this guy, it seems like since yesterday. Wow. Okay, there we go. Do that. Those windows, I don't know. Do you think like the Bearcats did that? The bear machine, the bear vehicles? Why am I saying Bearcats? Do they call them Bearcats? The bear machines? Drone in through the window? Wow, look at all those cops. Oh, yeah, it is a drone. It is a drone. Good eyes. Let me get out of the way here. Oh, they're flying that shit in there. Let's go. Wow, look at that. Oh, damn, what happened? Are they shooting? Is there shooting going on? Oh. Okay, no, I'm tripping. They moved the camera. I think something was going on. Holy smokes. Hey, okay, now they're back. Maybe not. Let me see something. They say Grizzlies in the.
Yes, it's good, but it is getting darker, so it is a little harder to see.
Audio a little bit. I thought shit was getting lit over there, bro. I was like, oh snap. Oh, they backed up.
Okay.
That's pretty dope that they got the drone flying in there with that's like a bright ass light. I wonder if this guy is like sprawled out on the floor somewhere, hiding under a bed or in the closet. And they're pissed since I don't think any officers have died. I believe they said one of the articles I read somebody was critically injured.
Friends, let the cannons loose.
Let's see what Grizzly got. Let me get it. She's buffering.
That's what I thought. Oh, she wants me to say, in today's news, we're out here at where a barricaded suspect is inside his home. We've got U.S. Marshals, HPD, HCSO. Yeah, that's what she wants. She wants that perfect, crispy sound. This is Grizzy Live here with the Hood News. Yeah. Oh yeah, she wants those free airplane tickets.
Drone's still flying throughout there.
Yeah, she needs to go. You ain't even from Texas, man. Don't come play around with Texas. Go there. Go away. Where you at, Iowa? Clap back for the one time. I'll do a live clap back video after this. I promise you. I ain't gonna let that one go. I feel very highly offended, but for the sake of what we're doing right now, I'm.
All right, let's just. Oh yeah, there's a drone kind of flying back out. Yeah, the drone is kind of hovering. That camera feed is. So let's see. This guy's name. Pull him up again here. There's supposed to be a presser coming up too, so we can keep an eye out for that. This guy's name is Taran Green, 34 years old. He has a brother, James Green. Initially, Green's brother, James, was labeled as a suspect. Oh, he was captured on Thursday morning, according to authorities. He was then listed as a person of interest and questioned and later released from custody. The guy they have is Terran. The guy they believe right here, locked up in this place, is Taran Green. Uh-oh, the big boys. Oh, no, it's the old. Is that another drone? This guy, I mean, he might be on a mission to take somebody out. Officers' injury said to be life-threatening. Northeast Houston. Okay, I've been meaning to do a couple things. Update that for one. Well, you know what would be interesting too, to get the radio? Maybe I can get the radio. The radio audio. We can wait 1 second. All right, let's see if we can get the radio. I don't know if they'll actually. It might be. One of it's going to be encrypted. Top feeds. Nothing going on in the radio feed, really. I figured Texas would be up there.
Terran Green, come on out. That is the thing we're hearing tonight. That is the command. Yesterday, he shot a Harris County Sheriff deputy during a traffic stop. Today, he shot at a U.S. Marshal and another deputy.
Yeah.
We're here at the scene. We've got SWAT, U.S. Marshals, FBI, HCSO, HPD, DPS. All the agencies are out here. I even saw a Humble ISD car.
Suspect remains on the run. Here's the old presser. They're coming up with one soon. We play this one though in the meantime.
Sheriff, joined here by many other partners and leaders that are standing with us this evening at approximately 7:39 p.m. One of our deputies in our District 2 patrol area in Northeast Harris County went out on traffic on Homestead Road. That's approximately 7:39 p.m. Within about a minute or so, our dispatcher received reports that the officer was down, and witnesses began to advise us that there was an officer that was wounded at the scene. Within a couple minutes, EMS was able to move in and begin life-saving measures. And a few minutes after that, life flight was requested at the scene and ultimately transported the deputy here to the hospital. At this point, the deputy is in surgery. He is listed as critical but stable. He received at least 2 bullet wounds to his upper torso. And at this point, we're just praying that he makes a full recovery. Obviously, he's very critical, so we're asking for our community's prayers. Our community always stands with us. And so first and foremost, we're asking for prayers. Many family members have already arrived. Others are on their way.
Which radio would it
the
be?
Deputy is 29 years of age, and he's been with our agency now as a deputy for
Harris
1
County.
year and 3 months. Regarding a suspect, he was described as a black male, person of interest at this point, but he's described as a black male with wearing the preliminary information leads us to believe that he is a black male wearing a gray shirt with short hair, wearing black shorts. He may be driving a 2016 royal blue or some dark shade of blue Ford Escape bearing Texas license plate SVJ 6590. That's Sam Victor George 65.
Let me see if this is the radio for you.
Yes, sir.
I don't know which one.
Yes, please. Thank you. C for suspicious person, 14420 West Sylvansville Drive.
Charles 80.
Charles 80.
8120. You can send me that disturbance of the reference 396.
Next, sir, 2035.
Oh, they're shooting something over there.
It's right there.
Let me show you guys. They're shooting something.
You know, gunshot from a firework.
Shot something in there. Oh, look at that. Ooh, look at them big boys.
Man,
What
I
is
want
that?
one of those things. Oh, more banks, more banks. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so they rammed the house.
Oh, they rammed it. Take the whole shit down.
The house has been rammed.
Knock the whole thing. Can they just tumble it if there's nobody else in the house?
Yes, thank you, babe. Thank you.
Over here
Oh, I love you. Oh, we got her news peeps. All right, you got an iPhone one?
It's all on.
Thank
It's all
you.
ready for you to use.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Wait. How do I use this one? Okay. Oh no, I got okay. I got the iPhone one.
I'm just taking off now.
Thank you so much.
Show this.
All right, hold on, y'all. Thank you. We got a Hood News Beat bought a power bank, man. Thank you, friend. Oh,
Big fans.
yes, thank you. Okay, somebody bought a power bank. God bless y'all. All right, here we go. All right. Ooh, that juice. All right. Oh, thank you.
I said just take the whole thing down, right? Problem solved.
Did y'all walk? Oh man, thank y'all. All right, so we got a power bank, y'all. Thank you. Man, did y'all hear all the banging right now? That's crazy. Okay, they're gonna bring the pie out back. Look, 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 look. They're bringing them back.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Check it out. Wow.
Just ram it.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder how much is it just for the front door? How does that shit work?
Don't call me. Man, my friends are so disconnected.
He might be dead.
All right, here we go.
But maybe they would have heard a shot.
If you got my phone number, don't call me, friends, please. Unless I say call me. Like my girlfriend police happenings, I told her call me, she called me, and that's cool. But please do not call me on your own, because like man, my friends think that I'm just sitting on my ass, I think. Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you, Kathy. All right. We're almost at 12K, man. Share it, share it, share it, friends. Let's show the media what the people really want to see. We want the truth, not the narratives.
Well, I think it's interesting that this house got rammed, but we didn't see it get rammed. I mean, we didn't see anything move. Maybe it's just maybe we wouldn't see the whole thing move. I don't know. Is the media just giving us a loop? Are they just playing this shit on loop? No, I don't think so, right? All right, I have our feed on the side in case there's like some sort of movement or something like that, or they update it. That's Grizzly Hood News. Grizzly Hood News. I don't know what's going on, man. So this guy shot multiple people, not life-threatening, but multiple people. He's barricaded in here. Terran green. They've flown a drone through the window. It had a big ass light. I wonder how much they were able to see in there. It also reminds me of like the other standoff where that person was in a van or something. And just got the music on loop. Was in a van and they thought he was alive and he was actually dead. I don't know if this guy could be dead in there. Yeah, if you guys could hit the like button, please, I'd appreciate that. Share it out. Nick and Mel, they can't take the whole house down. I'm not sure if it's drywall. I've seen them do that before. Really? I'd say just if they know it's just him in there, take the whole shit down. Ram the shit until the whole fucking thing comes down. But then you got to look for him through all the rubble and shit. Okay, here we go. We got some action again. Hold on a second. They hit it again. Look at it. Here it is.
Oh no! You think the house gonna catch on fire?
Ooh, Waco. Somebody said Waco earlier.
Oh Lord, friends! There's smoke coming from the house.
How come we don't see it on this street?
Look! Can you see it? Y'all see? Look!
He's trying to burn this shit up.
Look, everybody!
We don't see nothing there though.
Oh no! Man, this is what
she said?
Y'all get for letting your fugitive manhunted loved one out there. Oh no, he's gonna. Oh my God. Dang. Hey, if you ever got a fugitive relative, just say no. It's okay. Cash app them some $50. It's okay to say no, man.
Is this Terran Green's house or his brother's house?
Man.
There's the thing again. Look at it.
Oh Lord. I guess the house is, man, I don't know what's going on. Ain't no telling, y'all. I don't know if it's tear gas or what.
There we go. We got a front view. Let's go, baby.
I don't know. It might be tear, like.
What's it? Oh, shit. Johnny 5. Let's go. What are you doing? It's like the upgraded version. Is he just going to pull this shit? Is he going to pull the wall off? Can you do that? Yo, he's reaching its. Why did they change the feed? They gave us like an overview. That was a really good. Oh, look, something's coming out the house, though. Is that something inside? I wanted to see what that thing was going to do. That shit reached inside the hole. You can't really see anything on her feed. Right now, we just, with this overview, you can. I wish they didn't change the angle. There it is. All right, let's go. What are you doing? He's going around now. What did that? Or is it just weakening the walls and structure? And look, there's the smoke from the side. There's the smoke from the side. I don't know what the hell these people are doing. Why are they panning this camera? Just stay still. Maybe there's nobody in the chop. Maybe the guy in the chopper is also doing the camera or something. They can't do that, though, right? Sherry, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, good evening, Lady Trucker in the house. Thank you. I guess they switched. I think this thing is still here on the side. I wonder what the purpose for that was. The purpose just to break the window open? Or maybe like an animal type of thing, like when you're trying to scare an animal or an insect out of a corner or like a hole or something. So you're just shaking the shit up. Look, smoke. More smoke. If this guy, so I wonder if he created the smoke himself. Is he starting this, or is it due to the house being rammed that something get hit that is causing things to smoke up? Grizzlies feed. I'm trying not to use too much of it, but I'm just kind of showing when there's something to see right now. Right now, there's not really nothing to see right now from that angle. I think from these angles right now, we can kind of see this overview right here. But I'm keeping an eye. Sometimes there is something to see, but right now. But yeah, it is smoking. Man, I wonder what that guy's got to be thinking inside that house. Let me see what she's saying.
Yeah, we gotta keep the. Yeah, this guy's already proven to be very dangerous, and yeah.
Yeah, to me, this guy's like on a death mission. So whenever they do confront this guy, let me look at the article again, or let's see what else other information we can get. We're smiling. Ooh. Okay, a guy shot a cop last night. He was life flighted. The guy should have never been out of jail. Okay, yeah. They found him. Now he shot a cop and a U.S. Marshal. Turn on KHOU. They finally have on the news. Let me see what KHOU has. KHOU. There's supposed to be another presser. Maybe they're waiting. And Texas, you guys been lit lately. Well, it's a pretty horrible shit though, really, because that girl. Which I was talking to a friend about more theories on that whole situation with the girl. Yeah. Sorry, that started playing record. Live waiting update. Okay, let's see. KHOU. Okay, they got a presser feed here. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep an eye on this for when they do a press conference. They have a camera looking at the microphones. So this house, it says Terran Green was believed to be barricaded at a house 6.5 miles away from the previous shooting, where the previous shooting happened. 2 law enforcement officers were shot Thursday while closing in on the suspect accused of shooting Harris County Sheriff's Office deputy about 24 hours prior. Gonzalez said that the shootout happened at a house in Humble area on Silhouette Ridge, which is just north of the Beltway and about 6.5 miles away from where the shooting happened. Authorities believe that Terran Green, 34, was barricaded inside a house at the location when shots were fired. 2 law enforcement officers, one with the United States Marshals and another one with the HCSO, were shot, according to Gonzalez. They're believed to have suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Gonzalez went on to say that he believes the location was contained, that there was no threat to the community. He also said he was unsure if anyone else was inside the house at the time of the shootout during the standoff. Okay, so we're just waiting for the press conference. Get a better. Really is almost kind of. I mean, it's not nowhere near, but it makes you think of Waco a little bit because they had news media there, right? They were recording everything. Maria, wait, that's Maria. Oh, Melissa, thank you so much for the 3-month membership. Sis, thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you, appreciate it. Can you see thermal imaging through brick? I don't think so, right? I don't know. I say take the whole house down. But yeah, if it's not his house, I was gonna say if it's his house, take the whole thing down. We're at an apartment building right now. Hoover and Vista Hills. Oh, okay, hold on. There might be a radio we can listen. Oh no, that's somewhere else. Oh, that's an old feed I was looking at. Never mind. An old message. Top feeds.
And I get it from over there tomorrow. Hopefully this be done. I'm turning you in and I'm giving them your address.
No, friend, unfortunately we can't. See, they have it closed off. Like I would love to be over there. Y'all know I am scared. I'd be in the back of that truck filming. I would be on the back of that truck filming if it was possible, right there. Man.
I guess they pushed her back. Oh, we got another feed. All right, thank you guys. Salute to the chat. I'm not sure which one to do now because we got a zoomed in one here. Let me get this. We'll fix this. We'll get the right screen. We'll show it here. Got multiple. Struggling. Let's do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Maybe. Even though I honestly think the other one looks better, huh? This was all like gloomy and shit. You could barely see anything. Maybe we should do this one. I mean, I like that we got a zoomed in door there. Amazing. Okay. No sound. Let's see if we got any sound. No sound. Okay. Something. I want to get it. Let me see if I can do something else too. Just when they do this here. Press conference thing here. Suspect's in the house. He's in the house, locked away. I don't know where in the house, though. I mean, it would be interesting to know the layout of the house. I guess all those broken windows was done by those by the SWAT. I wonder if he's like in a corner of the house somewhere. I wonder if it has a basement. You think it has a basement or no basement? Yeah, they pushed her back. Look, there's another one going though. With the nose pulling up. Go, baby. Go, baby, go.
Ooh, this guy right here?
Oh man. Hey, so one of these guys, the guy inside is allegedly supposed to be a best man in somebody's wedding.
Oh, hell no.
Oh Lord. Oh my God.
Look, there it is, there it is. So there's the news has a delay.
Do y'all see the pictures of him on a throne? Like on a big old chair, like he's sitting in a throne or something.
Okay, there it is. There it is. Let's see what happened. Going off the side. Going to the back. Kind of hard to see. Not the best quality. They zoom out. Anytime they're getting ready to do something, kind of, they zoom out the cameras. Yeah, zoom it in. Oh, okay. They turn on their lights, their headlights. What's going on back there? This is happening right now. This is live. It says live like in 3 different places, I think, no? Or the title. Maybe just in one place. It's live. Oh, look, they got the helicopter over here. Was ready. Got the helicopter down here. Oh, shit. Oh, there's something going on over here. Trying to see what's the best. I'm going to show you this real quick. Something going on over here. Right on this thing here. Oh, shit. Look at that shit, yo. What? What the hell is that? Is that a drone? Ooh. Oh. There it is. There it is. Okay. Damn. Wonder. Oh. The hell is that? Is that something moving? Oh, it's just a shadow. I thought it was somebody there moving. I was gonna say. It does look like an alien, right? Let me see the press conference thing. Is it happening yet? Not yet. I wonder if they're just going to hold on this press conference until something more happens. Oh, shit. No, okay, there's a little window they popped open. Oh, is it going to go in there? I want to see. Can you fly through? Oh, shit. Oh, come on. Get it in. Get it in. Oh, no. You go too high, I think. Come on, man. That thing's got to be precision. Oh, okay. Oh. Get in there. Kind of tough, though. It's a tough. Oh, let's go, baby. Let's go. Oh, careful now. Oh, I thought it was already inside the. Oh, maybe he's not going to go in. He's just looking from the outside. Yeah, I say go in there, man. You should have a couple of those things at disposal, right? Taking pics. Wait, what just happened? I looked away. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe it's just taking pictures, I guess. Oh shit. It's like curtains? Oh no, it's just a wall. Okay, I thought that was like curtains or something. That's what kind of wall is that? There's shit all over the. Oh, sorry. Shit all over the walls. Not too many windows open. Kind of curious to hear. Oh, what are they doing?
News. I'm alongside my colleague Eric Barajas this evening because we have a lot of ground to cover.
Look at all that smoke.
2 more Harris County deputies have been shot during an intense manhunt for 34-year-old Terran Green.
Yeah, at this point, we have live team coverage following the situation intensely here. But let's go to Sky I-13, who's over the home. This is on Silhouette Drive. At this point, multiple agencies, including a SWAT team, have closed in on the home, again, on Silhouette Drive. This is in the Humble area off the Sam Houston Tollway and John Ralston Road. He's accused of shooting Deputy Joseph Anderson last night during a traffic stop.
They believe Green is barricaded inside the home you are looking at, the one that law enforcement have already tried to get into this evening. So let's go right to ABC 13's Jessica Willey. She's at the Park Lake neighborhood, just streets away from this SWAT situation. Jessica?
Things back.
Yeah, and I'm going to stay behind the camera
with
the camera trained on that house on Silhouette Ridge. It is a cul-de-sac, and you can see we have a good vantage point here. Incredible video right now of the front of this house. They have been here since before 7 o'clock tonight, and they are trained on this house. They believe the suspect, Taran Green, is inside.
Keeps doing that.
Information about how this all developed this evening as we continue those live pictures of this house. A drone just went through the front door and is now surveying the house. They are trying to get an eye on the suspect. They believe he is inside there. They have not heard any communication from him, though, for hours. They have been talking at him through a loudspeaker. He has not responded. Now, we are told that just before 7 o'clock, there were some officers walking up to the house. And as they were approaching this house in the Humble area, the Sunset Ridge neighborhood, a woman and 2 children came out. They asked that woman if Taran Green was inside. This is what my sources are telling me who are close to this investigation. And that woman said, yes. We don't know her relationship to Taran Green. She said, yes, she left. And about that time, we were told those officers were fired upon. At least 2 officers were shot. The sheriff says they are non-life-threatening injuries. That is good news. And we're told one of those officers is a Harris County Sheriff's deputy. Another one is a deputy U.S. Marshal. They are being treated at the hospital. But ever since then, now for hours, 2 hours, we've been here in this neighborhood as Harris County Sheriff's Office and other law enforcement agencies have descended on this home. They have their SWAT vehicles, one called the Bear, that's that really large armored vehicle. Another one is called the Rook, and that's the one that can breach, like punch holes into a building if need be. Those are now outside working as that drone is inside going through the house. That is what we've been able to gather from our vantage point, just kind of catty corner from that house across the street. And we have seen them throw tear gas canisters inside, as well as smoke grenades. This could be wrapping up soon. They may have some more information. Of course, we're going to continue to bring you these live pictures. Back to you.
Whoa, look at that.
And they say that he's already shot 2 officers, another deputy and a U.S. Marshal.
Yeah, we need that.
As well.
Oh, not good. Not good. Oh, boy. It just needs to stop.
What do you think about all these officers here? Well, I'm glad they're here.
Yes, I am too.
Did he just break the front door? Oh, he just broke the front?
Yes, he did, because we just don't get this type of excitement out here. It's usually quiet.
We don't want it.
Yeah, we don't want it.
They're tearing it up.
I think the guys in the house a couple streets over, and this could be like this a long time tonight.
Really? Well, my son is on his way.
They're tearing it. Yo, they're pulling this shit down.
To make sure his mom is okay. Yes. Well, wow. Thank y'all for coming.
Wow, they're pulling at this place.
My mom did. She said she heard 3. Oh, really? Is she right over there?
Yeah, she's over there.
Okay.
But she was playing out here with
Hey,
my
do you mind
brother.
just stepping up here to the mic? I'm sorry. We just can't get any closer.
So she was out
what
here.
What did you say? Your mom?
My mom heard like 3 gunshots, and she was up here for I think 2 hours. And then she saw all the cops.
And as we continue to watch these live pictures to your left, it's just incredible. They are literally tearing apart the front of this house to get to the individual barricaded
I don't think I've ever
inside.
seen shit like this.
Yeah, this is the vehicle that Jessica was referring to earlier in her live report. This is one of the SWAT vehicles. It's called the Rook. It's got this protruding arm right there that is basically, before it started tearing out these brick walls here, it had already torn out the front windows, the front door, and the front garage door. And they did send a drone in through that front door, looking throughout the house, we're told. We haven't seen that drone come out, but now that Rook, as Elisa was just talking about here, continues to peel away parts of the brick siding here on this house here in the Humble area. Still looking for the suspect because, again, as you heard Jessica talk about in her live report, they've been trying to communicate with that suspect inside via a bullhorn. He has not responded, though, I believe Jessica said, for at least over an hour, if not more, Lisa.
And you're essentially looking at a live demolition of the front of this home right now as they attempt to get to the suspect. Now, remember, the extreme efforts they're making here are because this person is thought to have, in the last 24 hours, shot 3 law enforcement officers, 34-year-old Taran Green.
Yeah, that's obviously a very serious situation they're dealing with. You can see the serious actions they're taking. We also want to get to we have team coverage going on right now. So you heard from Jessica Willie there live at the scene, monitoring this live picture. We've also got our Daniela Hurtado a few streets away at a command center right there at John Ralston Road and the Sam Houston Tollway, the Beltway there on the northeast corner of the Beltway. Daniela, what's the latest?
So here on this side, again, you mentioned we're just a few roads down from where Jessica is currently at, where that house is at, and where SWAT is currently trying to apprehend this suspect. I'm going to show you, step out of the frame and show you just the sheer amount of officers we're seeing out here. There's dozens of them, and we continue to see them show up to the scene. I can tell you here on this side, I know the service road here near John Ralston Road and Beltway 8 was shut down for a while, but the cars are flowing again. And here again, what we're seeing is lots of officers' vehicles. And we're also seeing people here at this nearby gas station, just onlookers who are wondering what is going on. We saw a lot of that in that neighborhood where Jessica is Jessica is at right now. We talked to a few of them, many of them with children, telling us they were afraid. They didn't know what was going on. They're kind of painting a picture of what this neighborhood is like, telling us that this neighborhood usually nothing really happens is what they're telling us. And again, many of them talking about the fear of what could happen. One woman specifically, though, she was talking about how she wants everyone to get out safely from this situation, officers and suspect included. Take a listen.
We don't want no more lives, taken today or whatever. So I pray that, God would just touch this young man and just let him surrender, so his life won't be taken, because
on the other side.
the power of prayer is very strong,
I don't know about prayer. I mean, it's good to pray, but he needs to get yoked out of there. I don't know. What's this light in the back? Is that just the light they set up or somebody else? I don't know. What is? Oh, is that the drone? That's the drone? ASCH, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, well, this definitely isn't California, right? Roll is joking about Cali. Texas has kind of got all kinds of shit going on over there. That's the drone, Mohawk Mom. Oh, look. Okay, is they bringing this back now? This thing that was tearing up the house? I'm for it. I guess there's nobody else in the house. They said that a woman and a child, I guess, walked out of the house. I believe it was this one. And they asked the woman if this guy was in there. And she said yes. And then when officers approached, they were shot at. Now I'm wondering, is this guy dead or is he just hiding out in there? Because we've had situations where you don't really know. Actually, multiple situations that I'm thinking of where we watch these standoffs. I don't think I've ever seen a house getting pulled apart. I don't think I have. But in a couple of these situations, the person was dead, but they it took them a while to verify and find out. And I mean, that house looks huge too.
Being torn apart right now. Let's go back out to her. Jessica, we've seen this rook, as you were telling us about, this SWAT vehicle, continue to just peel more of the brick off of this home.
Do you think he's dead? The Lord said, I think he's in the attic. He all left door. Oh, let me not test.
She is there at the scene. She's, as she mentioned, she is standing next to her photographer behind the camera so that we can get that full view. And we're getting the view from above as well from Sky Eye, already in the air this evening, has been throughout the evening, giving us that bird's eye view of what's happening there.
Hoke said family's going to get paid. I guess whoever owns that house, I don't know if it's this guy or somebody else. Is this covered under house insurance? I guess. Damn. 2 drones in and out. B. Lee says shot 3 cops. Fuck around and find out. Yeah, they're going all out. They're pulling out the works.
And another location that we are carefully monitoring for you is Kingwood Hospital. That's where the 2 deputies, one from the Harris County Sheriff's Office and one with the Marshals Service, were taken this evening. Remember, this suspect is not just being pursued because they shot a deputy last night, but also because 2 more were shot this evening.
Wow.
That's right. We're told, thankfully, that at this point, their injuries, those 2 deputies that were shot today, their injuries are non-life threatening. You also heard Jessica Willie again. She's live at the scene in front of this brick home right now. She was telling us in her reporting moments ago that apparently when the deputies had come up to this home here and started walking up the sidewalk, up to the front door, a woman was coming out with a couple of kids. They asked that woman if the suspect, Taran Green, was inside. She said yes and continued to walk away and get herself and her kids away from the house. At that point, as they continued to take a few more steps towards the door, that's when fire from inside the house came out. Bullets came out, hit both of those deputies. But again, luckily, we're told at this point, their injuries are non-life threatening.
We are going to take a quick break. We'll continue to monitor the situation from many different locations, gathering more facts from law enforcement and those in the area, and we'll be right back.
Wow. Bro, what in the hell is going on? I just walked in from being out for a few hours, I think, and what in the hell? It's like you turn around and the world's ending. I can't even think right. Okay, let me see what other feeds I can pull up. This is the house. The other one was a lookalike. Okay. Okay, silhouette. Well, they kind of look the same on there, yeah. This is the house. Let me see. I wonder if he's the homeowner or is it family that's the homeowner. 3 bedrooms, 2 full and a half bathrooms. 5,800 square feet. Well, lot square feet. The actual square foot is 1,675 of the house. That's a huge home. Bro, I guess Texas is showing it up tonight. All right, let me see if there's any other feeds. So we're waiting on them. They're taking a commercial break. The press conference is coming up. I don't know. I don't want to say soon. I do have a feed where I'm watching. There's just microphones. Nobody's there. So whenever that happens, we'll tune into that. I'm thinking they're going to wait until something significant happens, I think, to even come out and say anything. So they have microphones set up. Says here, awaiting update. Man believed to have shot 3 officers in the past 24 hours. Wow. All right, let me see. It's fucking crazy, dude. He has I think kind of a long criminal history. Fox 26 here. Okay. Not many people are streaming this. Oh, surprised. So we got on Facebook. Fox 26. Wow. Okay. Already watching that one. Got that already. Facebook. Thanks for people on Facebook for coming through. This guy's name.
Right now of the pursuit of a suspect that law enforcement says has shot 3 deputies in the last 24 hours. 34-year-old Taran Green.
That's right. We know the shooting started last night during a traffic stop. He was pulled over off of Homestead Road. And as that deputy initiated that traffic stop, we're told at some point Taran Green opened fire on that deputy. He's in critical but stable condition tonight, as we're told. Then as the manhunt ensued over the coming hours and into this evening, they were able to pinpoint his location to this home right here. It's on Silhouette Road in the Humble area. And that's when deputies, as they walked up to the front door, suffered several gunshots. And we're told both those deputies are in the hospital right now. Both luckily suffering non-life-threatening injuries. So again, 3 deputies shot in the last 24 hours. Our Jessica Willie is there live in front of this home in a very secure location, monitoring the live picture with the latest. Jessica.
I was laughing because somebody, I thought that there was like a curtain there, but apparently it's like wallpaper. And Gail on Twitter was like, FYI, that's ugly wallpaper inside the front door with shoes printed on it. I was confused because the drone flew right in there. And is he still in there, the drone?
It's actually a cul-de-sac, and we're just across the street with several barriers between that house and us, but a good vantage point to see what is going on. I can tell you that a drone has now flown into the house and come out the other side. It has seen what's inside, where the suspect might be. We don't think that there has been any contact with the suspect. The Harris County Sheriff's Office for 2 hours, more than 2 hours now, has been talking at who they believe is inside, Taran Green. You can see the drone right there coming up. They have punched holes in the front of the house and the side of the house. They've thrown tear gas canisters inside and smoke grenades. No activity yet. This all happened around 6:45 to 7 o'clock. We're waiting for an exact time when we hear more from the sheriff's office. And I am told from my law enforcement sources close to this investigation that officers were walking up to this house. And as they were walking up, a woman and 2 children were walking out. They asked that woman,
Lindsay, thank you for sharing the story with me.
And she said yes. The woman left, and at about that time, that is when they were under fire. They took gunfire. 2 officers were hit. According to the sheriff's office, it's those 2 officers, one is with the Harris County Sheriff's Office, a deputy with the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and the other is a deputy U.S. Marshal, so works for the U.S. Marshal's Office. And they have obviously been looking for this suspect since last night, more than 24 hours now, ever since Deputy Joseph Anderson was critically wounded. He remains at the hospital. He is stable, according to the sheriff's office, and talking and even laughing with his twin brother and his fiance and his other family members. But it looks like he is stable, but still critically wounded as they have been searching for the suspect. We have been here for more than 2 hours now and have seen a lot of activity throughout the night. And they have not breached that house with any people, with any officers. They've only sent in equipment.
I wonder if he's dead.
So they have this big SWAT equipment. One's called the Bear, one's called the Rook. They also have that drone that has gone in. We don't have a good shot where we can see whether a robot has been able to go inside. But they use all of that equipment to keep the officers safe as they continue to deal with barricaded suspects. I'm going to silence for a moment. You can hear them.
You want them to surrender?
Talking to him again. They've been doing this throughout the whole night, saying, hey, we want you to be safe. We want you to surrender. Come out with your hands up, and so we can end this. They've said who they are. We're the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Taran Green, please come outside, surrender. We want to make sure you're okay. There's not been any activity as far as we can see inside that house, and certainly officers are trying to figure out that too and decide when the moment might be when they actually put people inside of there to see for themselves what the status is of this suspect, Taran Green. He was stopped, according to the sheriff's office, during a traffic stop last night, and they say that is when he opened fire on Deputy Anderson, fired at him, shot him at least 2 times, and then took off. His brother was also in the car with him. He was a passenger in the front with him. Officers have caught up with the brother. They interviewed him and released him.
What kind of shit is that? Why was the brother in the car?
This suspect, the accused shooter, for more than 24 hours now. Elisa, Eric.
Ride or die?
And Jessica, give me an idea. Oh, that's right. Well, we're in the course of her working out in the field and us back here, we'll just give you a little bit more of an idea ourselves. The picture that you're looking at on the left-hand side is John Ralston. This is not too far from Westlake Houston Parkway. So we're talking about the northeast corner of Beltway 8. So not a lot of traffic volume.
It kind of buffers a bit. Well, it should come back
This hour during the week, but this is definitely shut down. Law enforcement has poured in to the area and is surrounding not just this home and this street, but the entire neighborhood.
Okay.
If they keep doing that, I'll switch to the other feed. Oh, but they're still zoomed out. I don't want to zoom in. Come on.
At a good vantage point from Sky Eye, we could see what appeared to be smoke coming out from maybe the right side of the house. Are you aware if they've used any type of gas, tear gas canisters or some smoke grenades deployed into that house right now at some point in the evening?
Yeah, Eric, we have seen smoke coming from the house periodically throughout the evening. I'm told that some tear gas canisters were thrown into the house. Also, some smoke grenades trying to put up a smoke screen as law enforcement was trying to, do something else. So a distraction for the suspect as they tried to move into the house. But that's what we have seen from our vantage point. We've also heard some pops. I don't know if that was gunfire or something else, but a lot of activity happening in front of our eyes. We don't have all the answers, but we certainly will get them soon. We are told that the Sheriff Ed Gonzalez is supposed to address the media, perhaps within the next 45 minutes, we hope, so we can get a lot of our questions answered. But we understand this is the suspect, Taran Green, believed to be in this house, accused of shooting, critically wounding Deputy Joseph Anderson. He's been with the sheriff's office for more than a year. Before that, he worked for Berkshire Police Department. He has a twin brother who also works for the sheriff's office. So certainly they're all rallied around him.
I see her live.
The sheriff says lifting up him in prayer as he continues to recover. He is in critical condition, we're told, but stable.
Jessica Willie live this evening there on Silhouette Ridge Road, the cul-de-sac there where this house is located. And we are continuing to follow this because, as you could hear, even in our live pictures, the law enforcement officers there on scene are continuing to try to communicate, say, come out. We want you to be safe. We want to end this. But still, as we understand, no response. And this barricaded suspect continues to remain in the house. We're taking a quick break, and Eric and I will be back with more coverage for you.
So,
you are uniquely you, and your Starbucks coffee.
You can listen to Grizzy for a few.
In your prayers, man. This is off of John Ralston and Beltway 8. All right, look, the drone's going back. Here goes the drone.
That's the drone. I wonder if they just let a K9 go in there. How about, I guess they could run the
risk. All right, the
risk
drone's going back.
of him shooting the K9. Let a K9 run through that shit. Or like two of them at the same time.
Can somebody send me a screenshot of that? Hey, I hear the ambulances. All right, ambulances are coming through. Y'all hear the sirens? All right. Ambulance sirens can be heard not too far. They're approaching. Give the Hood News a follow if you're not already following for latest updates and stuff happening in the city. Crazy, funny, sad, tragic, everything. We cover everything. All right. We can hear the drones.
Thank you,
Well, Walkabout Bridge sent me this article. It says Houston Police's new 350K watt vehicle revives debates over police use of military grade gear. So just a little quick. That boy's updated. Running deep. Military grade shit. Damn. I mean, you kind of have to with all the crazy shit going on these days. There's a drone. Is that a drone?
I don't know, Rain. I don't know where to send it to me, but I don't know.
Click on the star. Click on the star.
Yeah,
and
drone or alien?
What
was
that?
that?
On the star.
Oh, that's a drone.
It'll say how much, how many.
I think it was moving quick.
Yeah, tell them to hook it up.
I don't even go live on Facebook. I should put it on TikTok.
Ooh, somebody send me the 13.8. All right, folks. So they've had some interaction with him already. As you guys, could you guys hear him, the negotiator? We hear sirens not far away, but we don't know yet. This is what it's looking like. Yeah, we got the drones, another, like a, something flying.
Coming in the sky.
In the last 24 hours, we're talking about Terran Green. We first brought you this story last night when there was a traffic stop and a deputy, Joseph Anderson, was shot at that traffic stop. The suspect then went on the run.
Yeah, sure did. And they ended up tracking him down, Taran Green, 34-year-old Taran Green, to this home right here on Silhouette Road in the Humble area at the intersection near John Ralston Road and the northeast corner of the Beltway. They tracked him to this area, this home right here, around 7 o'clock this evening. And for more than 2 hours plus, they've been trying to get him, communicate with him, but they have not been able to. And in an effort to get him to come out or communicate, they've also ripped a lot of this house apart. We've got our Daniela Hurtado a few streets away at the command staging area where investigators, we hear Daniela, could be talking and giving an update to viewers in the media there, hopefully in about anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, the latest information we've received from the sheriff's office is that they're set to talk around 9:45. Of course, lots of questions here in the situation as we want to know more on not only what they're seeing there, what they're experiencing, but of course, just the sheer amount of law enforcement presence here. I do want to show you here near where the media staging area is an apartment complex, also with officers that are blocking that area. All of John Ralston Road also blocked off. We're going to show you here a little bit of what we're seeing. There's dozens of officers out here. It's really a sheer amount of them, and I can't even quantify how many exactly. There's just so much presence out here. And of course, we've talked about just the deputy that was shot yesterday, and now the deputy that was shot today, and also the U.S. Marshal officer shot today. So there's a lot of presence out here, a lot of manpower out here in hopes of apprehending that suspect. You know, as we talked to people earlier today inside that neighborhood where this house is, where Jessica Willie is at reporting from, we were hearing hearing from them, talking to them, asking them if they knew what was going on. And as we were giving them more details about the situation, many of them telling us they were fearful, that they were hoping that everyone was going to come out alive out of this situation. Of course, we know officers have been out here for now about 2 hours or so trying to get this suspect out of this home here on John Ralston Road. We're seeing so many officers. We did see for a while, and here we're seeing another officer come in. And that's exactly what we're seeing and have seen within the last hour. Just so many officers continue to come into this area. Again, we're waiting for the Houston sheriff, or rather the Harris County sheriff, to show up here. They're expected to give us an update here shortly. We'll bring you that live once they are here. We're reporting live here on John Ralston Road. Daniela Hurtado, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
And we will be back in just a few moments.
Popeyes. The face she made. Let me see. Did they get back in here? We zoomed in a little bit. Okay, we got a little bit of a different view now. I gotta turn down the AC. It's kind of hot in here. Turn down the AC a little bit. I need a cup of coffee. I don't know. Fuck. I really thought the plan was to go to bed early tonight. They keep zooming out. This chopper leaving. We're just circling. Barricade. So shot 3 officers. Wearing green. Got a criminal history. Push back.
Excuse me. Around this house, you want to be nosy? Hold on. Okay. If they come on peaceful.
Thank you, y'all, for the cash apps. I really appreciate that.
So y'all can see.
I was zoomed in. I think, I don't know. I guess they've been going at this for a while. Oh, 2 hours or more? I know we've been here for like an hour. They've been going at this for a while. They've sent drones in and out of there. They've been pulling and tearing this shit down. I think they say they've been doing, I don't know what kind of grenades. Oh, is that a drone? I would say yank the whole shit. Let the whole thing collapse on them. Just pull the shit. Oh shit, they're moving in. Oh, they're moving in.
Are you injured?
Oh.
He's injured, y'all. Yes.
Did he give up?
1 for yes, 2 for no. Are you injured?
Oh, is that him? They got him out? Oh no.
If you're injured on the upper part of your body, give me 1.
Is that him? Who is that? What is that? They talk with him, I guess.
Yeah, he's injured, y'all. But they still don't, they can't really believe everything. Can y'all hear him?
When people come in, share the live.
And I was just about to walk away. You can't.
Yeah. thought he was over there in like close to your house area because the helicopter was.
Wow. It looked like they brought somebody out. Was that him that they brought out, or? Was there another news station that I had open? Oh, that's nice.
What's up, Eddie Blanco? That's my bestie.
I'm trying to. What's the other news station? Oh, we had. This is Fox.
I see you, friend.
This is Fox. There's some other station I had.
Oh no, she was talking to somebody on the phone when she was saying you want to be nosy. She was talking to somebody. She wasn't.
He offered a lady live night.
I wonder if that's it. Or they gotta clear the house, maybe?
Cheeseman is life. I guess if news is Cheeseman.
No, it's next door to the.
Look at me, y'all. Look at me on somebody's vehicle. I'm just late. Look.
Oh, is that somebody at the window? No. No, I'm just seeing shit, right? Oh, why does that look like somebody hanging out the window? I'm tripping, right? No, okay. It's zoomed in. It's just the inside that we see. I'm about to say, bro. ABC 13. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the one. Thank you.
The suspect for more than 24 hours now.
And Jessica, as we're watching this, they're continuing to try to speak to somebody in the house. What are they saying now? Can you hear?
Yeah, I mean, they've been repeating this all night. This is the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Taran Green, please come out, surrender, come to the front door, surrender yourself. We want to make sure you're okay, that nobody else is hurt. I have just been informed that it does appear that he is inside, and they are making contact with him as best they can at the moment. But you can hear that loudspeaker. They've been talking to him all night, and from what I understand, nobody has been speaking back, but they believe he is the only person inside. When they arrived before the officers were shot, along with two children, they got to safety, and the suspect remained inside. But you can see, they've used their big SWAT vehicles to kind of demolish the front of the house so that they could breach it as best as possible, to get a drone inside, to kind of get an eye on the suspect, see what they're dealing with, because it's all unknown when they're working from outside the house, obviously.
So, Jessica, that is a bit of an update you were telling us now. That is a bit of an update you were telling us now, that because we did see those SWAT members rush in and also basically kind of rush out. I guess you're hearing from your sources that the suspect is inside and alive at this point, because again, I know you were telling us that we hear the bullhorn and you've heard it throughout the night, but they haven't really had any communication back and forth, and now we finally do get some sort of confirmation that the suspect is alive inside.
That is what I'm hearing from my sources who are close to this investigation. This is the first time officers have gone inside this house tonight. That has been the big question, whether he is still there, whether there's activity, whether there's any kind of status update. And what I am hearing is that this man is still inside and alive, and I'm getting some information and trying to sort through it, and certainly don't want to report anything.
I mean, that's good. He's alive
ahead of its time.
But I thought they took him out.
We are hoping to get more as quickly as possible for you on this, quickly developing situation. I will say that we have been told that Sheriff Ed Gonzalez is going to speak to the media around 9:45. In my experience, law enforcement agencies don't set a time unless they think they're going to have some sort of resolution. They only speak, they only address the media when there are resolutions in SWAT situations, SWAT standoffs. So from my experience, it appears that they think that there's going to be a resolution soon.
Our Jessica Willey reporting live. She is getting a lot of very timely updates from her sources. And at this point, we do believe from Jessica's sources that we have an individual still alive, barricaded inside this home. Thanks to Jessica, she's continuing to gather facts on the scene. And we'll be right back after this quick break.
I'll put it back when they come back. Okay, so confirm. I guess it seems like they confirmed he's alive, communicating with him somewhat, seems like. And I guess they pulled that robot out of harm's way. They sent the squad for that. Those things are expensive. Those Bearcat things, I think it's like 300 and something thousand. They sent the squad for him. I was like, damn, bro. Back of the house. Let me see if I can hear a little bit of audio from this.
While y'all are laughing and joking about it, I've got all kinds of accolades and stuff. Presidential award, humanitarian award. I got another humanitarian award coming up in December. I got a day in the city. I've got several other recognitions from city and local government. So laugh all you want to. I'm gonna flex that. Yeah, people be thinking it's a joke.
I was just hoping to see if we could hear some of the audio from the speakerphones. Yes, I have that one up. I do have this. I have so many screens up, but I do have the press conference thing somewhere on the side. Actually, if somebody could keep an eye on that one for me, that'd be helpful. Because I have. Oh yeah, they're trying to set up. So they said I should keep an eye on it because they said I think 9:45 Texas time, right? So that's 10:45 Eastern time in 2 minutes. It does kind of look like they're setting up. Getting prepped. Trying to set up the cameras or something, or the mics, I guess. We'll wait for ABC to come back. Wow, man. I'm okay, Melissa. I'm all right. I only have something early in the morning I got to do, but it's only for like an hour, so it's not like I just have to get up early and get the baby ready. Oh, yeah, Sandy, thank you so much. I did see you sent me a PayPal, I believe. Thank you so much. fixing that.
Do you know if there's any movement on that at this point?
We are seeing people from the sheriff's office begin to show up here. I know they're trying to set up their live stream as well. We're hoping for 9:45, but again, that's in just a few short minutes. They said between 9:45 or 10 now, but we are expecting an update from them here soon. Here on this side, just a few streets down from where that barricaded subject is, we're continuing to see a sheer number of officers out here, lots of law enforcement presence. Again, lots of boots on the ground. We're hoping to get more information from the sheriff's office on any update here from that barricaded situation. That's just, again, a few streets down from here. We've talked to neighbors and people, again, a few streets down from here. We've talked to neighbors and people out here who are just onlookers out here that are trying to figure out what's going on and also trying to get a look of what's going on. Waiting for them here to get started. Once they get started, we will let you know so you guys take that live. But for now, we're just kind of waiting right now as they're setting up here just beside us.
And Daniela, in your location there, we can see the extensive law enforcement presence. You're about a half mile kind of outside of that neighborhood. Do you see representatives, I'm guessing, from the Harris County Sheriff's Office? Any other law enforcement presence there?
There's a lot of law enforcement presence. I heard half of your question. I know you're talking about just the number of law enforcement officers out here. We don't know an exact number. You see the ones that are on this road, on John Ralston Road, but there's some in that neighborhood. There's just so many, dozens and dozens of law enforcement officers out here through the neighborhood, through the streets. Of course, where Jessica Willie is at, by that barricaded subject in that house and in that neighborhood. And here you're seeing a shot near Beltway 8 and John Ralston Road. More officers here, so there's just so much presence. Hopefully we'll get more of a look into how many officers are actually here, how many agencies are actually here trying to help assure that all of this ends peacefully and safely, like Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said on his social media not that long ago.
Daniela, thank you. I know you are ready and waiting patiently for law enforcement there. We are continuing to get a live look at the home where the suspect is barricaded, and that location nearby, as Daniela mentioned, just overflowing with law enforcement. Jessica Willie is our eyes and ears there. She's actually not super close. She's a safe distance away, but we are zoomed into that. And we've been watching it throughout the evening just to see what law enforcement officers are doing. And live here during this hour, we literally watched as law enforcement demolished the front of this home, giving us essentially a view of the front rooms inside. And they were looking for that barricaded suspect to surrender peacefully.
They've used everything they can possibly use. They've torn the house apart, ripped out the windows, ripped out the garage door, just so they could get a better vantage point. They also sent a drone in. We were able to watch as they sent a drone in through the front door. This is also from our Jessica Willie. That drone went in, started to look around the house. They were trying to see if they could locate the suspect inside. The drone ended up coming out another side of the house where they had already taken out a different window. We also heard from Jessica Willie that they used some tear gas canisters and also some smoke grenades. We saw smoke coming from one side of the house as well. And then just a couple of moments ago, Jessica is saying that from her sources, we saw those about four,
nuts,
I think it was four SWAT team members rush into the house. They also rushed out very quickly after being in for just probably less than a minute. We're not sure exactly what made them rush out of the house, but Jessica Willie, again, our eyes and ears on the ground there, is telling us that it's possible they have found out the suspect is still alive in the house. You never know what can happen in situations like this where somebody might possibly take their own life, or maybe they had slipped out the back door before SWAT teams were able to completely secure the perimeter of the home.
And there's a lot to consider. You never know what dangers might be awaiting law enforcement as they enter a home like that. Not just the suspect, but what other things could be there that would do additional harm to law enforcement. Let's check back in with Jessica. It's really just been here in the last 20 minutes, 15 minutes that we saw those law enforcement officers go in and then come back out. Jessica, what are your sources telling you at this point?
It kind of a waiting situation right now, a waiting game. There definitely was some activity as those officers went in. It looked like they dragged something out and then kind of got into a defensive position as if they were awaiting something.
Yeah. Horrible. Horrible. Hey, Matt. Be good.
Everybody's got their mic check and their white balance. Yeah.
Yep. Check. Matt. How you doing?
My name's the FBI
Good.
guy.
John Wayne, you all right?
All right.
Whatever.
Looks like that front end load.
Yes, sir. So, horizontal. Yes, sir.
Jimmy, regular color.
D-I-A-M-Y. Assistant SAT. Yeah, assistant SAT.
Surrender so we can get you the help that you need. Before all of this started, we understand, according to the sheriff's office, he fired on 2 officers, and those officers were wounded, non-life-threatening injuries. Thank goodness that they said that the sheriff said that it was possibly a great.
I wanted to get the other one because it has better audio, I think, but.
Let me start it off and then get y'all to say something.
Everyone ready? Okay. Ed Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff. I'm just going to go around real quick to make sure we get everyone introduce themselves. Not everyone's going to speak, but U.S. Marshal.
Howdy, T. Michael. That's T. Period Michael. M-I-C-H-A-E-L. O'Connor. O-apostrophe. Capital C-O-N-N-O-R. I'm the U.S. Marshal for the Southern District of Texas.
Colonel Sanders.
My name is Josh Wright. I'm the Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal for the Southern District of Texas.
U.S. Marshal.
James McIntosh, Assistant Chief Deputy, Houston, Texas.
Troy Fenner, Houston Police Department.
Jimmy Paul, Assistant Special Agent in charge with the FBI in Houston.
And we have Chief Bosquez with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. At this time, we still have an active standoff. We're still trying to resolve the situation peacefully out here and give the suspect every opportunity to turn himself in peacefully. We're doing our due diligence, working very hard. We understand that there's a larger community out here as well, so try to make sure we keep everyone safe. Earlier this afternoon, into the early evening, our investigators, multi-agency investigators working on this case since yesterday, it's been a long 24 hours, made their way to this location as a possible address where suspect Green could be located at. As they began to make contact with individuals at the house, they determined that he was indeed possibly in the house. As they began to make entry into the home, they were greeted by gunfire. A member of the U.S. Marshal's Office, as well as a member of the Harris County Sheriff's Office, members of the Gulf Coast Task Force were struck during that initial gunfire by the suspect. They did not have an opportunity to return fire, so no law enforcement officers returned fire at the location. At that point, they retreated back. Subsequently, were transported to a hospital to receive treatment. And then the suspect again barricaded himself into the home, and that's where we've been ever since. So we have our hostage negotiation team as well as our Harris County Sheriff's Office SWAT team out here again trying to resolve the situation. The condition of our deputy from yesterday, he's doing well. As I mentioned, he remains critical but stable, and very positive improvement so far. He's doing very, very well, so we're encouraged by that. And the U.S. Marshal and his Chief Deputy will talk a little bit about the condition of those that were wounded here today.
Well, as you can see, unfortunately, we've had a few of these conferences or press releases, but I cannot not express enough to you the support of state, federal, and local agencies, not just the Gulf Coast Task Force, U.S. Marshal team members, but I mean, everybody showed up and we're out searching for this individual. Fortunately, we had a lead to come to this residence. As they tried to go in, he fired upon them upon entry. Of course, they all retreated. And as he mentioned, the sheriff's deputy, he was first in line, so he got a few rounds, but he's doing well. And so our two marshals were wounded, but not anything that we see that's serious in nature. We're just glad that they were able to retreat and allow the sheriff's office and their SWAT team to take over the scene at this point. So I'm gonna let Chief Deputy give you a little more details as to what went on.
Okay, thank you, Marshal. So the Marshal and I, my Assistant Chief James McIntosh, we just left the hospital where we have two of our Deputy U.S. Marshals that are assigned to the Southern District of Texas. Both of them are in good spirits. They're receiving medical treatment and they're recovering. One of those deputies received a gunshot wound to the lower leg. The other one received shrapnel to the upper arm. We anticipate that they'll fully recover and they're in good spirits. Family is surrounding them and we're keeping them in our thoughts and prayers.
You may want to tell them where they're from.
Yeah, so we had a few deputy marshals brought up from within South Texas to Houston to support an operation of ours, Operation North Star, which is a violent crime reduction initiative. We had multiple Gulf Coast members pull away from North Star to support this fugitive investigation. One of our deputy marshals was from McAllen, the McAllen division, and the other was from Corpus Christi. And they'll be here in Houston recovering.
So fortunately, this North Star initiative that's been going on with the sheriff and the chief, us just happened to be, we sent a whole crew, a lot of our deputies up here to assist. So we were able to shift them over to assist the sheriff's office to pursue this individual.
So just to be clear, initially we said two law enforcement officers had been wounded. Technically it's three. One received, was impacted by some shrapnel. The others did receive more grazing wounds, but one did receive what we believe were at least two gunshot strikes to his upper torso. Thankfully, he was wearing his body armor, and again, it was a lifesaver. So we always stress the importance of wearing body armor. And again, in none of this, I want to make sure that we also emphasize that just the wonderful efforts of law enforcement, just knowing what they were facing, an individual that had already fired upon a deputy and seriously wounding him yesterday, knowing he had a serious criminal background, as I mentioned earlier, armed and dangerous, still began the pursuit of trying to locate him to make sure no one else got seriously hurt, because we felt this was a dangerous person with very little going at this point. And so we're just glad that we've been able to locate him, and right now we have him just located, and we've got a tight perimeter around him. And just want to thank all our law enforcement partners. Chief Finner's been with me side by side the last 24 hours. His entire team, they're out here as well. We have all kinds of law enforcement agencies, too many to mention. But that's what we have going on right now. Again, we still have an active scene. As far as the connection to this location, we believe that it's just known individuals to the suspect, Green. We don't know beyond that right now any more than that, just that he possibly knew somebody here at this location. Briefly in Spanish, tenemos tres oficiales que fueron baleados, miembros de un task force de los U.S. Marshals. El sospechoso Green también está dentro de una casa que está aquí. Tenemos el lugar rodeado con diferentes oficiales y agentes. Estamos dándole cada oportunidad que se pueda entregar tranquilamente. Por el momento no lo ha hecho, pero vamos a seguir y a ver si lo podemos sacar en una manera tranquila para todos. No queremos que nadie más esté lastimado. Any questions?
Is there anyone else in the house with him?
At this point, by all indication, he's alone inside the house. He's barricaded and has refused to come out.
Sheriff, what's this like for you? Personally, everything that's transpired the last 24 hours, what is this like for you?
A lot of mixed feelings. I mean, it's obviously intense. we have one eye trying to make sure that our deputy's recovering. We've given those updates throughout the day. We have an entire team carrying him, making sure his family's okay. So that above everything is making sure he's okay. But beyond that, the concern of wanting to make sure that the community at large isn't harmed by this individual. People have already been hurt, seriously hurt, and we didn't want any more innocent people hurt by this. And so again, I want to commend my Harris County Sheriff's Office family and all law enforcement here, HPD, the marshals, and everyone for their selfless service and putting themselves out there in harm's way. And hopefully, and as I said earlier in a post, that I had full confidence in the Sheriff's Office, my team members, and all law enforcement. It was just a matter of time, and it looks like we're getting close to that reality. So,
well, but you know that the worries of a family member, what we were able to do, they were in condition to where they were able to call. That's the first thing I asked them when I got to the hospital. Have you been made contact with your family? And they have immediately. Secondary, since we got one from McAllen and one from Carpus, we immediately dispatched deputies to transfer them up here with their families at the hospital.
Has the suspect said anything to you guys, like during the negotiation?
I don't want to divulge too much because again, it's still an active scene. So want to make sure that we're protecting our people out there that are on the front lines right now. So we understand we've established that he's inside the home. We're giving him every opportunity to come out peacefully. We hope that he takes us up on that opportunity. Ultimately, that's what we're here, is to preserve life. That includes everyone. But it's a dangerous situation, weapons involved. Again, we know he was armed, and again, at least 3 or 4 law enforcement officers have already been injured by this individual, and like I said, he's armed and dangerous.
Algo así decía usted, es un vecindario muy grande. ¿Cómo está la gente allá adentro? ¿Cómo están garantizando la seguridad?
Estamos tratando de proteger todas las personas alrededor. Eso fue uno de nuestros primeros actos. Estamos tratando de proteger a la comunidad. Obviamente, si hay algo de peligro, pero está contenido. The question was, or how are we protecting the other residents? We've canvassed the area, try to protect all residents, secured as best we can the perimeter, but again, don't want to divulge a lot of our tactics out there, just that we feel confident we have them contained and there's no threat, as I mentioned earlier, to the larger community.
Sheriff, can you clarify, so now it's 4 law enforcement?
Three were received direct strikes. The other one was from the shrapnel, but he was injured.
¿Puede actualizar esa información en español, por favor, que estamos
He's going to clarify real quick.
So to clarify, our task force it's a mix of the best and brightest law enforcement professionals across the state and country. And so on our task force, we have sheriff's deputies, we have
It took something else down?
We have
oh no, they're recapping.
So we had 3 that were injured. We had 2 deputy marshals, one of which was shot in the leg, the other received shrapnel. And then the third was a task force member of ours, a long-standing task force member, and he received some rounds to the vest and a grazing
That's from before.
to the back of
I thought they were doing it again.
Is expected to fully recover. Yes.
Algo así, ¿puede actualizar esa información en español, por favor? ¿Cuántos oficiales acaban? ¿Es la cuenta nueva?
Sí, pues ayer, obviamente, uno fue baleado ayer, es el que ya dijimos de información, y en esta tarde, cuando llegaron aquí a este sitio, 2 fueron impactados directamente, pero un tercero también recibió una herida indirecta con el metal de la bala que se disparó. También fue herido, entonces técnicamente 3 aquí fueron lastimados.
What? Look at that shit. What is that? Yo, what the fuck is that? What? Yo! It's a robot dog?
Just talk about the sheer response.
Yeah, it's been an impressive response. Again, with this type of situation, everybody ascends here, and we appreciate the support just to see what else may be needed. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and we don't know if, again, we had to determine if something else may be needed, and people needed to, have special assignments out here. And it's a brotherhood. It's a family. We're a family that sticks together and
he's getting up. He's getting up.
Support and bounce ideas off each other. Utilize each other's equipment and partners. There's just a lot of collaboration. But again,
this shit is
have,
tearing
law
through
enforcement in
plays.
this region. All our local, state, and federal partners are really second to none.
I think he's stuck.
We have great cooperation. It's not built here at the scene. It's ongoing. We train together. We work together. We collaborate together, and you see the fruits of that
Is he stuck now?
We watched the rook
Well,
tear off the
that's-
front of the home.
I'm sorry?
We watched the rook tear off the front of the home. Can you talk about that decision and what happened?
Oh
Yeah,
my
there's
gosh.
different tactics. Again, we always start giving them every opportunity to comply with our demands, but we have a dynamic situation going on, and while we could establish that we feel fairly confident there's no innocent people at the house, you never know 100% certain until you're in the house. And with him being armed, fired upon us, then we have to, use different tactics at different times. Again, all this is really being dictated by Suspect Green.
No.
He's
He's
the
stuck
one
up
that
there.
decided to shoot upon the deputy. He's the one that decided to barricade himself. He's the one that has decided not to comply at this point. And so at some point, I hope he makes the right decision and just turns himself in peacefully for the good of everybody. That's the goal, but we do use different tactics. And again, he's the one that determines how we continue to escalate. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We appreciate your time. Thank you.
That would be the sheriff.
Thank you.
Bro. I want to know the story behind this.
All we have are these live pictures, not
That's what I
exactly
wanna
sure
know.
what's going on. We have seen those vehicles, the SWAT vehicles, kind of tear apart the front of this house, this home in this neighborhood where before 6:30 it was just quiet. People were coming home from work, coming home from after school activities. And all of a sudden this happened. This man who's accused of now shooting 3 law enforcement officers, also wounding a 4th with some shrapnel. All those, the ones today, non-life-threatening wounds to the officers. The one last night, Joseph Anderson, he is in critical condition at the hospital, but stable and appears to be recovering well. We're going to continue to stay here. Eric and Erica.
Yeah, Jessica, and thank you for the update. There's so
Before
much
you
going
can
on.
focus on others,
Wes's
you need a
picture right
college
now,
that's
zoomed
focused
in
on you.
to
The
that
hands-on
robot
learning
that
you
has
need.
breached the house. It's up
And
on
the
the
support of
second
faculty
floor.
and staff.
I know you're
You don't
behind
just-
a couple of barriers to make sure that you're protected, but we've got a great picture of that, and we could see it moving around in this top floor that is basically kind of above that front door. We can only assume, I guess, Jessica, and I know you've got so many sources and you're so abreast in what law enforcement does in situations like this, but it seems like the robot, it's moving again, and it's now stood up on its 4 legs, the yellow robot. I guess it's looking for the suspect inside the house, Jessica.
Cool. Bro, imagine you're the guy inside this building.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, really, what they can do. I can tell you that it has been quiet now for the last few minutes, probably about the last 10 minutes, as this robot, as we've gotten a better look at this robot. The drone just kind of flew up above the house as well, but they're not talking anymore on the loudspeaker. So what we want to know is, have they made contact with this suspect? What's going on? I'm trying to figure out that as quickly as possible. As this continues to develop, no word yet on the situation inside. But as you said, that robot, it looks like it's turned off the light. The light was on before. Now the light is off, but it does move around. They use these pieces of equipment so that they don't send.
Oh no, what did I do? Shit, my bad. ABC 13. Clicking too many damn things.
With that woman and 2 children. They certainly didn't expect the gunfire, but then they got to safety and onto the hospital as this SWAT standoff, this suspect continued to barricade himself inside.
Continue to watch this happen live. We should mention that I'm out here because this is something that we have been doing, watching this unfold live for the past several hours. In the 7 o'clock hour, as Jessica Willie arrived on scene, we also had Jonathan Bruce on our live stream. Eric and I have been going through this and watching those law enforcement officers go in, and we see now this is the latest piece of equipment they're using. They were using a rook to essentially demolish the front of the home to get a view of inside that house. You can see clear into the home. This has all been happening here in the last 3 hours.
Yeah, it's amazing. It has. It can only imagine what the neighborhood's going through. People trying to get home from work and they find out this is happening. And happening with it. It almost looks like it's getting stuck a little bit in all the debris.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the capability of something like this. So maybe it's not, but it sure appears to be caught in the debris of that window that was knocked out. We do have Daniela Hurtado as well.
Yeah, she's standing by at a staging area getting some new information from where she is. Daniela?
Hey guys, good evening. The sheriff just giving us an update. So did the U.S. Marshal's office. Here, what we're learning is actually 3 people were shot. One of them was hit. One of the officers was hit on his vest. All expected to be okay. But that makes 4 total law enforcement officers that were shot toward by this suspect, according to the sheriff's office. The sheriff telling us that there is this big response today. We've seen it. We've talked about it all evening. The dozens of law enforcement officers out here, and they tell us that they have each other's back. They're here just in case, because you really don't know in these situations what can happen, and things can change in a flip of a switch. Now, other information that they're telling us is that, again, 2 at least are U.S. Marshal deputies, according to law enforcement here that just talked. So a total, again, of 4 accused the suspect of shooting toward within the last 24 hours, or a little bit more than 24 hours. Now, we do have a sound from the sheriff here that we're going to take you to, so let's take a listen in.
Began to make contact with individuals at the house. They determined that he was indeed possibly in the house. As they began to make entry into the home, they were greeted by gunfire. A member of the U.S. Marshal's office, as well as a member of the Harris County Sheriff's Office, members of the Gulf Coast Task Force were struck during that initial gunfire by the suspect. They did not have an opportunity to return fire, so no law enforcement officers returned fire at the location. At that point, they retreated back. Subsequently, were transported to a hospital to receive treatment.
Stay out here and hopefully we can have those conversations.
And again, the sheriff telling us this evening they're still in the thick of this hostage situation, or rather,
robot dog searching. Dove's Cry, thank you for the 2-month membership. Says thank you, man, for going live on this. Thank you. Crime Solver, thank you for the super chat. Says Robo Pups at home must be worried about that. Bro, this is crazy. Sierra, how you doing? I'm convinced the world is ending. Paul W, thank you for the super chat. Where the wind blows. Thank you, Crab Solver. Thank you so much. Christina, thank you.
solve this peacefully. I tried asking him at the end there as they were trying to walk away and continue to do their work, what he would tell the suspect. He wasn't able to answer us as he walked away. Really, a lot of developments here as they try to figure out how they can get this suspect to come out of that home this evening. We're reporting live here, Daniela Hurtado, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Daniela with the latest right there as we continue to look at this live picture here again. And we've seen some developments here. At least we saw that yellow robotic dog in that top right corner window over the living room there. It looked like it had been stuck in debris. We've since seen the light come back on. You saw that robot move off into another room. You would only assume, I guess, that robot is looking for a suspect in there. But we also saw some other developments as well tonight.
That's right. There were officers that went inside, 4 SWAT officers that went inside. They came back out during that time period. It was just a very short time period, it seemed. It was live during our 9 o'clock hour. And you know, no word, because usually when those officers go in, they come out with the suspect, but it did not appear that they came out with any other individuals. And yes, we see now the robot dog. And this is the video that we have from earlier. This was, Eric, I think around 9:30 to 9:45. They go in. It doesn't take them long to get inside.
No, you don't know if they were startled or maybe they had a visual on the suspect, but they do kind of rush out here in the next few
Hello,
seconds.
everyone. I'm Len Cannon.
So
We're cutting into programming with breaking news. Reports now that 2 more law enforcement officers have been shot.
But they do rush out here in a couple of minutes. It's not clear exactly what happened, but they scurry off down the driveway. It looks like it's about 4 of them, 2 still inside the door right there. Again, this is not live video. The live picture's on the right-hand side of your screen. This was shot by our camera on scene.
Yeah, I don't think they could see they're pulling out something. I think that's the robot. I don't think they could see the vantage or the angle that we had, because I think they had a chopper. And so it looks like they pulled a robot or something out.
Yeah, it really is. Whatever it is, they were pulling something out of the house. Not clear what it was, but they did move quickly back to a secure area.
These images are unbelievable, and all this, guys, is happening in real time, and we're playing back the video just as soon as we get it. There's going to be so much more on the other side of the break, but we have to take a quick one. We'll see you back in a minute.
Oh man. I don't think there's any live feed besides this channel right now. Let me see what she has going on here.
Don't, like, friends, I don't care what the news stations are telling y'all. We're out here right now. Let's wait to see what we see. How about that? Because y'all are saying 3 different things from 3 different stations, and it's not all the same. It's not unison. It's not uniform. So just, if you want to follow that, hey, you can hop off. It's not going to hurt nobody's feelings.
Oh, shit.
But don't come in here saying what you heard from the other stations. They get it wrong too. They tell a lot of stories real bad. In case y'all don't know.
These people are so stupid in the chat. Maury, thank you so much for the 50. He says this deserves a big 50. Go RoboDog. Yeah, I see some of you guys message me. I guess we have to wait till they come back. It says The Last Ronin, the Boston Dynamics can open doors. New dog-like robot from Boston Dynamics can open doors. U.S. Military Central Action Robot Dog. That's a gangster. I wonder what happened to the dog. Seems like the dog was struggling. By the way, if any of the mods, if they know any other feed alternatives, let's see. I scanned. This is all I see, though. I wonder if they're live on the website. What is that? ABC 13. Let me see if maybe YouTube. No, they don't have this on their YouTube page. We're stuck to their website. Bobby, thank you so much for the super chat. It says from the windows to the walls. Damn. Oh, you guys are showing so much love in here. 3rd chapter, thank you so much. Thank you for the 50. Because now y'all know if the suspect was not a person of color, they would have not destroyed the house. Thanks for showing this. Happy Daisy, thank you for the membership. Oh, here we go. We're back. Wow. I mean, at least they have nice quality.
A suspect kind of barricaded inside of this home. Let's get to Jessica with the latest.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the love.
Yeah, and I'm hearing from someone with the SWAT unit that they do believe that the suspect is still inside, still alive, and is alone. There is still activity going on at this house. We know there's a robot inside. We saw it kind of closer to the front right-hand side window, but now we think it's farther away from the window. It looks like it's struggling kind of getting around the debris and stuff. Those probably not really easy to maneuver as you're going through a house where they have kind of demolished the front of the house. So all of that debris fell inside, and this robot's having a little bit of a time getting around it and surveying what's going on inside. The drone seems to be staying close as well. We haven't heard much communication from the sheriff's office, and we've been hearing that periodically all night long. Just, Taran Green, come out with your hands up, please surrender, we want to know you're okay. This is the Harris County Sheriff's Office. They've been saying that on a regular basis, and we haven't heard that in the last few minutes. I'm sorry, I was just listening to it, but I think that was just a scanner nearby. So we haven't seen any activity. We believe the robot's inside, so,
I think he's coming out of...
looking at the robot. They're in like a command center.
They're in a command center?
We haven't seen any more officers go inside. We did see that about 30 minutes ago. 4 officers go inside very quickly and then retreat quickly.
Becca, thank you for the super chat. Says, I want to see his reaction if he comes face to face with a robot. RoboDog. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's in there hiding, he's got to hear all the shuffling and like all the sounds. Oh, are they going in again? they going in? Or was that from earlier?
Inside this house for hours now.
Okay, I thought I saw somebody moving.
6:45, 6:30, 6:45, when this all started developing. We understand.
Yeah, I just can't imagine that robot scrambling, tossing, and like moving shit, like pushing shit all over the place. And this guy just, I don't know, he's got to be sweating bullets, yo. Something. Got to be anxious.
Was leaving with 2 children. They asked her if he was inside. She said yes, and at that moment, according to the sheriff, Ed Gonzalez, they came under fire and were injured. A deputy U.S. Marshal, as well as a Harris County Sheriff's deputy, and then a third person, a second deputy U.S. Marshal, got some shrapnel wounds, but all of those injuries non-life-threatening. Of course, last night was much more serious. Deputy Joseph Anderson, he was critically wounded. He's at the hospital, recovering. Stable condition. The sheriff says he's talking and communicating with his friends and family by his side. But we have been here for hours now watching this house, hoping that this is going to be resolved as quickly as possible, waiting to see when that happens. You know, we've seen tear gas canisters be lobbed in, smoke coming, billowing out, smoke bombs also being thrown in earlier in the night when they weren't sure the status of the suspect. But it appears that there has been some contact now with the suspect, because we have not heard them at all on the loudspeaker talking to him. And I have been told that they don't believe anyone else is inside, only the suspect, and that he is still alive. But very much a developing situation with a whole lot of law enforcement presence out here as neighbors nearby just over our shoulders. We want to keep it on the house as they're watching as well. You know, certainly it's going to be hard for anybody to sleep tonight until this is resolved.
All right, Jessica. Yeah, so much going on right now. And again, for everybody that's hasn't really gotten the full backstory of what's taken place here. This all began last night, more than 24 hours ago, around 7 p.m. The suspect on the left-hand side of your screen, 34-year-old Taran Green, was pulled over by a deputy on Homestead. That's just about 10 miles or less from the scene right here. And he was pulled over for a traffic stop. While the deputy was initiating that traffic stop at his car window, at some point, Taran Green, that suspect, opened fire on that deputy, left him on the ground, and took off. That's when the manhunt ensued for Taran Green, the suspect here. They'd been looking for him throughout the entire night and through today, and pinpointed him at this home right here. When officers arrived at this house, that's when you heard Jessica Willie report just moments ago that as the officers walked up to this house at the front door, he opened fire on 3 of them, hitting 2. Another was grazed by some shrapnel, we're told from Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. So here we are now. This SWAT standoff has taken place since over 7 o'clock tonight, so more than 3.5 hours at this point.
All right, we're going to take a quick change of pace here and check in with Rachel Briers for a little weather.
Yeah, and today definitely.
Man, so who knows how long this is going to go on for. I think this is the only feed. This guy's been out there for a couple hours now. We've seen a robot dog. We've seen drones. We've seen they go in there. What other? I think what other technology they've used. The bears or whatever they call it. They've torn at this house, pulled some of the walls, and I mean, I wonder what's this guy's like. What's your end game? We can listen to a little bit of this for a second.
This shit, whatever you just did right now, and if you're not hacked, man, you're wrong for that too, man. Who does that? Hold on, I'm looking.
No, Olivia, we have to stay on. Right?
Thank you, Kristen. Ooh.
I know. What is this guy doing in there? I don't get it with these people. Guessing that I send the chopper back.
I'm going through thousands and hundreds of comments. There's so many comments in here. I'm trying to clean this shit up. With that girl, her account, hacked account, whatever.
They're back.
You are uniquely you, and your Starbucks coffee should be.
They came back for that.
She said, "Oh no, I got Zelle. I deleted that. Thanks for the beer money, y'all." Somebody even sent me. It says for beer money. Thank you, Brian. I don't drink, but I'm gonna drink me a cold one, man. I'm gonna get me a kawama. Thank you.
Damn, bro. Well, I don't know. Let's wait a little bit and see. I bet you if I get off, as soon as I get off, this shit's over. Play the Twitter. Take a look at this Twitter shit.
Técnicamente 3 aquí fueron lastimados.
What? Look at this shit. What is that? Yo, what the fuck is that? What? Yo! It's a robot, but then he got like stuck. It's like he just incapacitated himself. Like he's not meant to deal with like all the terrain on the ground, all the trash all over the place. The place is torn up. He got like stuck. It's a robot dog?
Just talk about the sheer response.
Yeah, it's been impressive.
Yeah, that shit just laid out too.
Fue herido, entonces técnicamente 3 aquí fueron lastimados.
What? Look at this shit. What is that? Yo. Robots. I guess they have a camera set up on the ground, so and I don't think there's anybody else out there. Let me take a look. Let's see. ABC is the only one dedicated to it. Okay. Only other thing they just cut away. Oh, okay. ABC or cut away. All right, we'll see.
Home in the Humble area of Atascocita. He was out on bond, we know. Possession of a firearm. He had a total bond of $55,000. We've got live crews there on the scene. We're going to take a quick break and bring you some more information when we come back.
Let's see. Facebook. Okay.
MS tries to stop me.
Okay,
MS is like riding into headwinds.
I see you, baby. Checking that. I think we got another feed. We got a feed. Oh, I love it. We got a feed, boys. We got a feed. I'm trying to send it to myself. Why is it so complicated? Okay. Okay, so we got a feed we can do. All right, yeah, we're gonna do shots tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Shot. Shot, everybody. Okay, live feed. Sending it to myself. Okay. Okay. Gotta take what we can get. No audio, but that's something. Live standoff. If there's a feed, you'll find it. Yeah, we got a feed. We got a feed. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do too is I'll keep this one on the side. Whenever they do come to talk a little bit, we can listen, I guess. Thirsty Thursday. Okay, HOU 11. I don't think. Yeah, we've heard the whole he's injured thing for a while now. They haven't said if this is where the suspect lives. They believe, I don't know what their relation is. Maybe he knows the people of the house. They haven't said how he's connected. Some woman and a child walked out of here, and the police asked the woman if he's there, and she said yes. And when they approached the house, he shot at the police. They tore that shit up, bro. Look at that thing. What is that? A laundry? That's a washer. That's a washer hanging out of that side. And I wonder if the robo dog, did they actually get him out of there? Did they extract him, or is he still stuck up there? I mean, I can't see him in the camera view, but I'm wondering if they were able to get him out, or they just disabled him.
From the sheriff and law enforcement officials here at the command center, they were really talking about just how long the last 24 hours have been. Of course, we know that deputy that was shot yesterday is now stable, but was fighting for his life and continues to be at the hospital. And then today, this afternoon, 3 more law enforcement officers were shot at by the same suspect that is still barricaded inside just a few streets down. The sheriff talking about how they have so much law enforcement presence here, so many different law enforcement agencies. And of course, we did see here too at the command center where they were doing their news conference, the chief of police here of the city of Houston as well here supporting Sheriff Ed Gonzalez as well, along with the FBI, along with the U.S. Marshal. So many people here, so many law enforcement agencies here. You know, as we were in the neighborhood, I can tell you so many of the neighbors were outside trying to figure out what was going on. Just a street over from where this house is and where law enforcement has been for the last several hours trying to get this suspect out of this house and where he has been barricaded. As we talk to neighbors, they tell us that they were frightened, and here's one neighbor and what she had to say.
The next street over. So it's really scary. Like, it was right. Can we move? We lived the next street over, whatever. So it was kind of, yeah, it was scary. It was scary. Like, and my kids in the car, like, they 3 years old. So to hear them on the speaker telling them to come out, they're gonna send the canines in. Like, you only can pray for them. That's the only thing you can't do is just pray for them.
I say the canine. I'm down for the canine.
Suspect and the officers. Yes, and the officer also who was shot too. You know, I pray that he's okay, and you know, I pray that God just comfort his family.
So the barricaded situation still ongoing here. The sheriff saying that they want to resolve this peacefully. It's something we'll stay on top of. More information after the break.
It's a good.
They take a break every 1 minute, every 2 minutes. Take a break. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I guess they're just, maybe for now, they're just standing down. I don't know that they've actually even been communicating. I think they said the communications have stopped with this guy. Let me see the audio.
He ain't got no choice. Somebody got me $1 for a tent.
I wanted to listen into to see if they're talking over the
Y'all saw
speaker.
Robo Dog? I love Robo Dog. That's my favorite theme. Thank you, Brenda Mac. Thank you, Tanya. Annabelle, man, she sent me $5 for diapers for TV mounting service. Oh, that's what's up. Omar for knee replacement. $1 for watch out for the roaches. Oh Lord, Jazz, thank you.
What a night, huh? What a night. I mean, luckily I only have one thing in the morning. It's not too big of a deal, but pretty short too. All Californians effing up Texas. That's kind of true, ain't it? Because a lot of them moving out to Texas and Florida and wherever else. I wonder where this guy's from, the guy that's held up in there. Keep this up over here. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they just try to wait him out, try to talk to him over the speaker. That doesn't seem like it's getting anywhere. At some point, they were asking him something about if he's injured or not. What was that? Somebody rolled by the gate or walked by the gate. I wish we had the little aerial view as well from the helicopter, but I guess they had to leave. Ooh. Oh! This is kind of funny. So, okay, this live feed that you're watching, Dick sent me the screenshot. So I guess somebody under this news feed said to the news people, they said, Grizzlies Hood News is literally outside live. And the news replied back and said, KTRK is much closer. You won't see much on an iPhone. Are they trying to take shots? I don't know. Even though this iPhone's, the cameras on the new ones are really nice. I mean, I don't know what she's using, but really nice. Any updates on a Robo-Dog? Current location of Robo-Dog is unknown at this time. Last seen trying to roll over in the front room. Somebody said now it's playing dead. It's getting kind of hot over there. I mean, you can't really see it, but that's a conversation I was reading. Getting a little hot in the chat. What was that?
Plus hours at this point. Again, on the right-hand side of your screen, you are looking at the home that police... The home is basically halfway demolished here because they've tried to get Green to come out of the home, but he has not. We've seen SWAT vehicles come in and knock out the windows, even the garage doors and the front door.
Yeah, it's really a dramatic situation, and all of this is happening real time.
Ben Overrich BRM in the chat says that the news reporter has been going after Grizzly for a month. Reporters commenting shade on her ish. Well, I didn't know that. That's so crazy. All like the local stuff. I didn't know they were doing that. Oh man.
Harris County Sheriff's Office has said, they want him to come out. They've asked him to come out. They want this to end peacefully. That is their first option. But as the hours go on, we presumably will see some different tactics and them use different measures to try and make contact with him and see if they can reason with him first. But he is the center of all of this, stemming back from more than 24 hours ago. He is the one suspected of shooting the deputy on Homestead yesterday, Joseph Anderson, who is still in the hospital in Texas Medical Center. We're told he is critical but stable. There's his picture there on the left. He had not been with the Harris County Sheriff's Office for very long, but he was not new to law enforcement. So as he was trying to initiate a traffic stop, reports came in that he was down. He had been shot multiple times in the torso. And then Taran Green, presumably with someone else in the car, took off, and that massive manhunt has been underway since.
And just to give you an idea of where this is happening, it's not too far. It's on the northeast side, not too far off of Beltway 8 in John Ralston. This is a neighborhood just beyond that area and maybe a half mile in from there. And so you can see the wide law enforcement presence. I suspect that now that they know this is the individual they have been seeking out, they have no plans to let him get from that house to anywhere else in our community. And so they have confirmed, as Erica was saying, that he is alive and is inside. And we're seeing now some changes in the light. This is a live picture there on the right-hand side. And we haven't seen a lot of activity here in the last 15 minutes or so. There was a robot dog that was moving around in one of the upper floors that we could see. But at this point, we haven't seen any activity from that. It could just be beyond our view that they have torn out from the front of the house. But we haven't seen any recent activity. As you saw, the lights just lowered a little bit. We don't know what the source of that light was, from the outside, from law enforcement, or somebody on the inside of the house turning out outdoor lights, but still, that's the image that we have seen change here in the last few minutes.
Yeah, and talking about the tactics, what they've used here, they've used almost every tool in their tool belt here. Starting from the very beginning of this SWAT standoff, we've seen them use tear gas canisters, smoke grenades as well. We've seen this particular SWAT piece of equipment called the Rook, which is almost like a skid steer with this type of demolition hook on the front. It's what took out the windows and garage doors. They still were not able to get the suspect to come out at that point. Once the windows and garage doors and front doors were basically ripped off and blown out, they sent a drone in through the front door. It navigated its way through the house and came out one of the rear windows that had already been knocked out by that piece of machinery as well, with still no visible sight, I believe, of the suspect or any communication, at least. So we've seen them use everything. And as Elisa just said, at one point, we even saw a yellow robotic dog make its way up to the second floor, actually got caught in some debris of the room that was knocked out above that front window.
And so you were watching the video there on the left-hand side for a little while. We did see a handful of officers, I believe 4 officers, go in quickly, stay not too long, and then come out. That was during our 9 o'clock hour. And then during also the 9 o'clock hour. So we're talking about here in the last 90 minutes is when they're demolishing the front of the house. So this was a completely normal looking home at 7 o'clock tonight. And this is all that has happened here in the last couple of hours in their extensive efforts to get this man to give himself up peacefully.
Yeah, I believe we have our Jessica Willie back there at the scene now with another update for us. Jess?
See.
Yeah, we just saw that light go off. We don't know if that's part of a strategy or just, as Elisa said,
that's what I was wondering.
Just a light going out that they are trying to recover and get it back on. And also, we saw that robot dog more recently moving around the second floor. And within the last half hour, we're hearing them now talk to the suspect again. We didn't hear anything, I think, probably for about a half hour to 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden, we're hearing it again. This is the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Taran Green, please come out, surrender. We want to know you're okay. Please come to the front door. I am told that they believe he is still alive in there. They are trying to talk to him with that robot. I've asked if he's responded, and I haven't gotten an answer yet. So we don't know if it's two-way communication or they're just talking at him. But that drone went in. The drone has a video on it, so they can watch that from a remote location to see what's inside. That robot has both video and audio. They can talk to him if they need to once inside. So, we're wondering when they stopped talking to him through the loudspeaker, if they were talking to him inside and he was responding. Certainly a lot of questions that we want to try to get answered for you. But this house, as Elisa said, it looked like a normal looking house in a neighborhood. This is Sunset Ridge West in the Humble area. And
go to bed
at 6:30 this evening.
You could go to sleep.
It looked completely normal, and now it looks like this. We have only the front of the house covered. We're not sure what that backside looks like. Sky Eye got better video, but those large pieces of equipment have really gone in and demolished this house, took out windows and doors and sides of walls, and just to get a better view, better access to the suspect. He is considered very dangerous. He has shot 3 people, according to the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and also wounded a 4th with flying shrapnel. All of that in, a 24-hour period. The most seriously wounded was Deputy Joseph Anderson, who remains in the hospital tonight. But we have been watching this for almost 4 hours now. All of the tactics you guys mentioned, they've run the gamut. Tear gas, smoke grenades, the vehicles, the robot, the drone, officers going in. That was curious. We want to know, what exactly happened there. They went in quickly, retreated. It appeared that they may have dragged something out. We're not sure what that was or if they even did that, but it looked like they were in a defensive mode. They had their shields up, guns drawn to make sure that they weren't fired upon, because when all of this started here at this house on Silhouette Ridge, according to the sheriff, 3 officers were approaching the house and they were fired upon once they found out that the suspect was inside. The sheriff said that they did not return fire, but rather they got to a safe location and were able to get to a local hospital with their non-life-threatening injuries. But all of this is still developing, waiting for some sort of resolution. The folks who are nearby, who live nearby, we've been huddled around with lots of residents who've come out of their homes, the ones who've been able to get to their homes. They want this to be resolved because they'd like to get a peaceful night's sleep. And they also want some sort of resolution for both the suspect and those officers, especially who have been wounded.
Yeah, I understand that. Boy, I can only imagine the neighbors there trying to, they were evacuated, Jessica, so you're right. I'm sure they want a resolution to this as soon as possible now as we're approaching the 11 o'clock hour. And it's kind of, on one hand, you're seeing this aggressive actions by officers ripping the house apart to get access to the suspect, or at least get him to talk to them. And then also, yes, you heard Jessica using tear gas. You wonder why maybe they don't use another round of tear gas or those smoke canisters to really flush the suspect out. But there's just so much still going on here. We've also got Daniela Hurtado. We can talk to her momentarily. She's at a command center just a few blocks away. But we also, let's go ahead and pull in Daniela Hurtado at this point. Daniela, we know you were there as Sheriff Ed Gonzalez gave that briefing just at this point, maybe about 45 minutes ago. What did you really take away from what the sheriff was trying to relay about the situation that is still ongoing at this point?
Well, during his news conference, he talked about how they want to resolve this peacefully. They talked about how long the last 24 hours have been, the number of law enforcement agencies and law enforcement officers, rather, that are out here trying to assure that all of this is resolved peacefully and safely for everyone involved, suspect included, law enforcement officers included, and of course, the community, the neighbors out here. Many of those neighbors who we saw outside of their homes in the area Jessica is at, which is a half mile from here where that home is at, where this suspect is barricaded. Many of them telling us, trying to find out, one, what was going on, but two, just talking about, we're kind of scared, we're kind of frightened, except they were all outside trying to see what was happening as they were hearing the megaphone that Jessica has been describing throughout the evening, as they were hearing and seeing what law enforcement was doing. And actually, right before you took us, as Jessica was kind of setting the scene of what's still going on out there outside of the home, we did see another machinery, rather, from Harris County, a SWAT machinery going back there. So they're bringing more tools. They're continuing to use more tools out of that tool belt, as Eric was mentioning earlier. So this is still a very active situation. The sheriff continuously says and continues to say that they want to resolve this peacefully. And yes, they did say and confirmed in their news conference that a total of 4 law enforcement officers within the last 2 days have been shot at by this suspect. They call him dangerous, and that's how he's being described this evening. Eric?
Daniela Hurtado, this is Elisa, and you were there. You've been there at that command location waiting on law enforcement and what they would have to say. We heard a good portion of it, but you being there in its entirety, they gave
Again? Okay. All right. Bye. What happened?
In this situation, and that their vantage point or their they're doing aren't released because anything could happen. The suspect could be watching. But, you know, as we're listening to them, they very limitedly said what they were doing or how they were doing things. Of course, they said and confirmed everything Jessica has been hearing from sources all evening, that officers approached this home. And when they approached this home and confirmed that the suspect was there, that's when shots were fired from that home where those law enforcement officers were hit. But the sheriff did confirm this evening, no shots were fired back. Those officers, law enforcement officers, retrieved, 2 of them taken to the hospital. The other one was just grazed. But that's exactly what they're telling us, which isn't a lot of information. We're seeing more than we're hearing from law enforcement tonight.
Daniela Hurtado there live about a half mile from the scene where even behind her, a half mile away from this, law enforcement is thick. There are countless vehicles out there at this point, law enforcement surrounding this entire neighborhood, really, because of what you're seeing on the right-hand side of your screen. Yes, this is at John Ralston, about a half mile away. And, you know, you still see.
We're talking about neighbors.
Yeah.
There's probably some that can't even get into their neighborhood after getting off work right now, Elisa.
Yeah, and kids coming home from school.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Picking up kids from daycare and then the road is blocked off to their neighborhood.
It's a helpless feeling for so many. And obviously, you know, we don't know whose house this is, whose house belongs to, but it's certainly damaged and destroyed now. And, you know, we've been waiting to hear some updates. But as Daniela pointed out, which is so true, law enforcement is being very mindful of what they're saying and what kind of information they're giving out, because they don't want to let the suspect know what exactly their next move is. Because the goal is to get him out peacefully. That's the goal. But they're still in strategy mode and strategic mode.
Yeah, we're talking about the suspects. Go ahead and let's pull his picture up, and let's let you all take a look at here, because here it is, 34-year-old Taran Green, and he's the man that opened fire on a deputy last night. We're going past 24 hours now when he was pulled over for a traffic stop. He shot that deputy multiple times, and then he took off, leaving the deputy laying there on the ground in the street. That's when a manhunt ensued for him at around 7 p.m. last night. Really? Well, finally, around 7 p.m. tonight, they pinpointed him at this home right here. And as you can imagine, a man that opens fire on a deputy last night and then opened fire on 2 more deputies who approached this home tonight at around 7 p.m. Well, he's not exactly someone that's not accustomed to the law. He's got a career criminal history here. He's also already out on bond, as you can imagine, for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and also a felon in possession. His bond was set at $55,000, but he is currently out on bond. And of course, that is when he opened fire on 3 different deputies in a matter of 24 hours and is still barricaded inside the home right here.
Yeah, scary moments, obviously, for everybody, the entire community. Elisa pointed it out earlier, but they've certainly got a big perimeter even outside of that neighborhood, because someone who has been accused of these type of crimes, they don't want him out in the community. They've obviously and knowingly have deemed him as a threat, and they want this to end in this neighborhood. So again, the goal is for that to be peaceful, but as the hours go on, we're going to just have to wait and see if the tactics will change, if they'll get more aggressive, or if they'll continue to try to communicate. We know they've obviously tried to make contact and have asked him to come out, asked him to surrender. We don't know if he's able to communicate back or not. We don't know what exactly the robot dog that was sent in is able to pick up and see, or the drone, if they've been able to put a positive ID on him inside with the cameras. Right. But we know they do have that capability to watch from a remote location, and so that's their best bet right now, as far as looks like some of their tool house. And we have our Marvin Suggs out there as well, photographer. He's there on the scene. Can we bring him in, Marvin? Can you hear us?
Hey, Erica, how you doing?
Hey, Marvin, what you got? Where are you?
Hello,
what can you tell us? What are you seeing?
Okay, I'm here on John Ralston Road, just north of the Beltway. They do have John Ralston Road is closed. They have lots of police vehicles. A few minutes ago, as Danielle said, we did see the Sheriff's Department bring in some more SWAT equipment. It looks like some kind of heavy machinery or something. When I first came up here, there were probably like dozens of residents who were, trying to get home. They're all here at the Shell station here on the corner of John Ralston and the Beltway, and I've noticed that there's a possible sheriff's deputy talking to residents. I don't know if they're trying to tell them a back way to get into to get home, but the crowd is really cleared out here. So yeah, we're just all kind of waiting to see what happens here.
So for all of you watching with us, if you haven't been introduced to him before, Marvin Suggs is our trusty overnight photographer. He works the wee hours into the night and into the early hours of the morning. And so when there are crimes, when there are shootings, it's always Marvin on the scene. Marvin, can you compare the kind of law enforcement you're seeing to the kind of crimes you might cover in the Houston area on a daily basis? What is this response like in comparison?
Well, Lisa, yeah, thanks a lot for that background information there. And yeah, the past 24 hours has just been incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And I've been covering Houston news for about almost 40 years now. And yeah, it's just really tragic. The past 24 hours, the deputy was shot, and the suspect shooting more law enforcement officers. It's just, I don't know if it's unprecedented for Houston area, but it's just terrible. And I know all the law enforcement agencies in the area have really gathered together to try to get the suspect in custody before he harms anybody else.
Yeah, good point, Marvin, for sure. And obviously, so many of you at home watching, many of us, all of us got the blue alert in the past 24 hours, even got a couple of them sent to our phones. So anytime there's a shooting here in our area, of course, law enforcement do their best to try to capture whoever was responsible. But when you involve law enforcement, that just makes it that much more urgent. And Sheriff Ed Gonzalez made it very clear last night that they were not going to rest until they found this suspect. Obviously, with his photo blasted last night and for the past 24 hours, with so many different law enforcement agencies brought in, the FBI even, to, get the visibility out there. It was only a matter of time before somebody either spotted him, gave up his location, something. And so that's what brings us here to tonight and this home where presumably he's still inside and still alive, Eric.
That's a good point, Eric. I'm glad you brought that.
I've considered pre-workout. I haven't done it yet. It's kind of late, but there's this salmon that I have to cook too tonight. I don't want it to go another day. It's been there one day, but it's been in the fridge. I haven't frozen it. So I have to do it tonight. So it's good. Tom Sauer, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, I hope the other robo dogs don't poke fun at him tomorrow for that floppy entry. And Britt Baum, thank you for the 6 months. Pre-workout time might be a long night. It might be. It looks like it.
Somebody in the newsroom listening might be able to enlighten us. For so many hours, I guess, a couple of hours, we were hearing the constant bullhorn. We want to end this peacefully, come out. Jessica was describing what they were saying, and it might be because we have the audio turned down on that live camera, but I really haven't heard anything, and maybe Jessica, you're there at the scene. Have they continued to appeal to him via that bullhorn, or has it gone kind of quiet at the moment?
Marinated in pre-workout?
Yeah. And I think we may
have air fryer.
Well, Jessica is still there, but she is working,
we have lost our
right?
signal at the moment. But and for all of us who've been in television many years and who've been involved with news, sometimes, though, and I'll bring this point, and we hope this is what this could be, is that, when law enforcement is silent, it's not because they're not working, it's because they really are working.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so perhaps maybe they're just regrouping, perhaps they're just coming up with their next plan, their next strategy, and they're just keeping it quiet so that they can do it efficiently.
Well, and we noticed the robot dog, as we've been calling it inside. There may be some form of communication, and that's just a guess on our part, I should say. We don't really have a lot of details about how those things work, but they essentially have a presence inside the home at this point. Where that robot is now, it's beyond our view, and what the capabilities of it are, we cannot tell you.
That's a good point.
It's a possibility, though, that they might have some other point of contact. And even a cell phone call. Like we said, we're not privy to the details of what they're doing, but the possibility exists that they might have some other way. And Jessica, we've been wondering, are they still continuing to do that bullhorn appeal to him to surrender peacefully?
Jessica, where are you?
Elisa, I think you're talking to me.
Yeah, I was asking about...
They have not been doing that in the last few minutes. Yeah, they have not been talking to him on the loudspeaker for quite some time. Every once in a while, like every 15 to 20 minutes we hear it, but it seems like that has really died down. And from our vantage point, we could see officers kind of pacing in front of the house with not much urgency. And, earlier no one was in front of the house because that was a dangerous area if someone was going to fire from inside the house towards the outside. So, is it a sign that this is coming to an end? That's a good question. We do know that they have used the robot to talk to him, to talk to the suspect. I'm not sure if he's communicating, talking back to them, but they are inside, and it seems as though they have made some sort of contact with him. And I liked Erica's point that, when they're quiet, it's because they're working, and they're certainly not sharing every detail with us. And, in other situations, it's because they don't want the suspect to be watching TV. I don't think he's watching TV in this one, considering the state of the house at the moment. But we just saw the drone kind of go back up. The drone has come and gone multiple times, even flying inside, as we've shown video of that happening. I mean, it's pretty incredible the tools that they have now to deal with these situations and to keep their officers safe. There have been plenty of people already wounded. They don't want anybody else hurt. But it doesn't seem like there's as much urgency as there was earlier. We haven't seen tear gas canisters in hours being deployed. We haven't.
Uper, thank you so much for the super chat. Says thank you for giving up sleep for us, Mel. Thank you. And ASCH, thank you so much for the super chat. Says I just saw it for a second. Okay. Well, this definitely isn't California. Man.
This is a very oh, look at the pup. Hey little puppy. He smells Dutchess. Yeah, no, the girl dog, she rubs up on my legs. My girl.
That's what you're missing.
Is that boy or girl? Oh, see the girl? Oh.
They're just chilling waiting.
Layla. Hey Layla.
Oh, let me before this chick kills me. So some people were asking for the Robo Dog video clip again. Well, they changed the angle. It was earlier.
Fue herido, entonces técnicamente 3 aquí fueron lastimados.
What? Look at this shit. What is that? Yo, what the fuck is that? What? Yo! It's like from a video game. It's a robot dog?
Just talk about the sheer
the way that shit got laid out and it was done after, I guess it malfunctioned or it just couldn't climb over the debris in there. Debris.
Yeah, it's been impressive response. Fue herido, entonces técnicamente 3 aquí fueron lastimados.
What? Look at this shit. What is that? Yo, what the fuck is that? That shit look wild, though. You think something like that would scare him out of there?
And this is in on the other side, and what I believe is Timber Hills. And
is that new?
Harris County.
And we're starting to see some movement in this picture.
Yeah, Jessica, we're seeing a large piece of, looks like a large SWAT type vehicle.
Take the rest
pull
of
up
the
in
house
front of the
down.
house.
Pull the rest of this shit down. Barricade this shit.
So I'm a little lower than
got time for all this bullshit.
Wes,
Take this shit down.
Higher and with a ladder. So I don't have that.
Okay,
so I can't see that view. But I understand, yes, there's a vehicle in front. So you guys are actually seeing these pictures, can see it. It's a SWAT vehicle, he said, that just rolled up. So it does appear that they're, getting closer to this house, and maybe something will be happening soon.
Okay. All right, Jessica. Yeah. And now Daniela, I guess, was talking about this when she talked to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez at the press conference. She talked about heavy machinery coming by. Even Marvin Suggs, who brought us that live picture, talked about a big piece of equipment coming by. This must be it. We can only speculate, I guess, but it was hard to make out. It is dark right there, but it looked like it was a large type long pickup coming in.
It says SWAT on it, like on the side.
Okay,
it said
all right.
SWAT on it. So obviously that's law enforcement equipment. And this all makes sense. And kind of what we were assuming is that they were going to at some point switch up some tactics, and what those are going to be and what those are, we'll have to see. I mean, this is a new piece of machinery that I don't think we've seen this evening. And so we'll have to see what that does and what they plan on doing with it.
Let's see what this truck brought in. I can just assume that there's some sort of machinery on the back of that truck because it appeared like a long flatbed on the back. So something must be they're ready to deploy from that truck, and we'll see if it goes inside the house at this point as we kind of just stares the peak insulation, just kind of hanging out that busted window above the garage, and all the windows busted out. And again, as you were noting earlier, Lisa, that we did see that for anybody just joining us in that top right busted out window, there was a yellow robotic dog that had a light on it, and it was moving around in that room. We saw it move away from that room. I don't think anybody ever saw it come out, but from our vantage point here, as you can see, we can't really see the bottom part of the front door of the garage. We don't think it ever came out. So at this point, we're working on the notion that that police dog is still inside. And as Jessica was talking about and Daniela, it's able to talk via camera and a microphone to people or a person inside the house. So we're not sure if any communication is taking place right now.
Yeah, and there's been times where the house has been darker than other times, and right now it's lit up. So hopefully we'll see some activity here soon or get an update and figure out what the next step is. But this has been a long SWAT standoff. This is going on, what, about hour 4 now?
Right. They did confirm that he was alone inside, alive. So that actually is good news, that nobody else is in harm's way beyond the law enforcement that is there trying to apprehend him. This is our view of what has happened really over the last several hours, since about 7 o'clock, when they went to this residence believing that he was there. A woman coming out with children, they asked her on the way out, is he in there? And she said yes. And when they went to the door, he was there, they say, and opened fire. Grazing, as they said, 2 law enforcement officers, and then hitting another with shrapnel. They are all going to be okay. Deputy Joseph Anderson continues to be critically injured, but recovering, hopefully, in the Texas Medical Center. But this is an individual that they are using the highest amount of caution with, and at the same time pouring a huge amount of resources into apprehending because of what a dangerous individual they believe him to be.
Yeah, $25,000 reward was out there last night, and we know he was already out on bond for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and also being felon in possession of a firearm. So this is not his first run-in with the law, and I don't know if that's why, he decided to take desperate measures last night. We don't know, right? I mean, they hope to get this guy out alive and hopefully get Deputy Anderson some justice, then also the other deputies involved who were shot. But I'm sure they would like to talk to him and figure out what exactly he had going on. But as the hours go on and tactics continue, we just don't know. These things, as we all know, can end any kind of way. We're just not sure. But obviously the professionals, they are leading the charge. They are there. They are on site. If they at least have him cornered or barricaded to a certain area, then we assume it's got to end somehow tonight. Or, in an hour it'd be a whole nother day. But, this is on Silhouette Ridge in Humble. Our Jessica Willie has been out there for hours. Our Daniela Hurtado has been out there for hours monitoring the scene. We've got a photographer there kind of elevated on a ladder, we're told, to able to give us this view here of all of the different SWAT machinery and tools that they've been using to try to make contact with Taran Green inside and bring him out, force him out. So far, we have not seen any activity from him, any confirmation of him, but they're still working now into the 4th hour of the SWAT standoff.
Yeah, we can only imagine how police are trying to work this. Again, we haven't seen any activity from the SWAT long bed pickup that pulled up. We saw it come by, but we haven't seen any activity. Again, we've seen throughout the night about 4 officers come in, and they breached the front door. Looked like they only got a couple of feet into the house before they came right back out. Looked like they were pulling something out of the house. It's not clear what they were holding, but it looked like they were laboring with something that was somewhat heavy, because it was about 2 or 3 of them holding that item. But again, because of the way the fence is positioned here, we couldn't get a vantage point on what it was that they were dragging around their knees. But again, the person you're looking at here on your left-hand side of your screen, 34-year-old Taran Green. He's the man inside that deputies say, his Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says is over the last 24 hours shot 3 deputies, 1 last night, 2 tonight, injured a 4th, I should say, with some shrapnel as they attempted to walk up to the front door of this house to confront him about the deputy that he shot last night and was on the run for. So At this point, a lull. It's not clear what law enforcement's doing, if they are communicating with the suspect, Green, inside or not. But at this point, it's kind of a wait-and-see game right now.
Yeah, and I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. It wasn't about if they were going to find him. It was about when. It was only a matter of time.
So we've been here almost 3 hours now. I think they've actually been out there longer, though, with this standoff. This guy shot 3 deputies. I think 1 was shot yesterday and 2 were shot today when they approached this house. So there was like a lady and a child inside this house. I don't know, they came out and the police officers asked the lady about, is this guy inside? She said yes. They approached. This guy started shooting at them. So they got all kinds of shit out there. Machines, equipment, pulling out, literally tearing at the house. They got drones flying in and out of that shit. We just saw a doggy a little bit ago. So thankfully nobody's fatally wounded. Like there hasn't been a cop that's been shot and dead or anything like that. I think they've had at least 1, I don't know if 2 press conferences, many press conferences. Thank you for the super chat. Says shout out to everyone, subs, members, viewers. Mel, you're canceled again. All jokes aside, we appreciate you for hanging out with us. Thank you. Thank you, Diggs. What city in Texas? I guess this is Humble. Oh, but you guys don't say humble like the normal ways. Umba. Was it Umba? Humble. You'll say humble. Like everybody has, I guess these places make their own pronunciations. So they call this shit humble. So without the H, just humble.
The SWAT equipment moved back and forth in front of this house.
There's more activity, at least you see here. So it was the first thing that went by, and then here we have the second thing in the right-hand side of our screen here.
Shit.
Either a second piece of machinery or some activity. So we've got multiple things going.
Yo, is there like 4 guys sitting in the front of that? They're going to ram it?
The officers
inside. Like people who are moving around,
difficult to count the number of officers that might be inside, but that is the front approach to the garage, I believe. I'm sure there was a garage door there at some point, but the condition of the house now is kind of demolished.
And it looks like, and again, eyes, if they're not playing tricks, it looks like they're behind some kind of shield, right?
Yes.
They've got helmets on, they got full tactical gear, but it looks like it's several of them, at least 2 or 3 who are behind some type of shield, and they're moving on one accord here. So certainly, we talked about not having any action or really seeing much activity from the outside in the past half an hour, 45 minutes, but now it's really starting to pick up. And we've seen a piece of machinery being brought in that will look like a flatbed, and then now we see several SWAT officers who are moving on the right-hand side. And speaking of machinery, there it is.
We have a second vehicle there that's in front of the house. And I don't know, Jessica, do we have any details at this point? Have you heard anything about what this activity might mean?
It appears to us that they're, making more damage, putting more damage on this house, going through this house in a assertive motion. They're using that truck perhaps as a shield. And Wes has a better vantage point, photographer Wes Sewell. Wes, I know you can't hear them, but can you kind of describe what you've been seeing?
Is there any other feed? It's the only feed I see.
So just out of our shot to the right side, lower right side of the house, it looks like a SWAT vehicle of some type made another breach into the house, and I can hear some crashing noises right now as I'm trained on the front of the house. Unfortunately, that vehicle is out of our shot, so I can't see exactly what they're doing, but I do see or hear that the vehicle, once it made contact with the house, is now making some sort of entry. There were several members of the SWAT team in that vehicle as they made the approach to the house. Now it's being spotlighted from left to right. There is a light on the upper left-hand side of the house that has gone out, and looks like they're concentrating on the right side of the house, which, again, unfortunately is slightly out of our view. But we're going to keep a watchful eye on this and also listen to whatever may be happening as they, what appears to be, making another attempt to go inside the house. So I'm going to give this back to Jessica for right now.
And it does seem like there has been more movement in the last 10 minutes, just beyond what's in front of our camera. Some lights have come on around these law enforcement vehicles that have flooded this street and near their command post as well. And so it does seem like something more, more is happening strategically. They've obviously are breaching the house more, perhaps getting to a better position to get to this suspect who has been barricaded inside now for 4+ hours. They're exhausting.
That sucks that we can't see. I wish they could pivot it or something. I don't know what kind of machine that was. That thing looked dope because it looked like it was like 4 of them riding in the front. It almost looks like it elevated a bit. That shit I thought it was going to stand up for a second. And I think it was another vehicle behind it.
We'll let this go on probably too much longer without taking some more steps. And we're seeing a step taken right now. We saw some SWAT officers there on the ground to the right-hand side of our screen. Our Wes Sewell gave us a perfect description from where he is right now. Of course, you see that tree there to the right side. You see light behind it. But because of that tree, we can't really see what's going on behind it now. Light went out. So there's some activity going on. We don't hear too much. Wes described hearing kind of a crashing sound. Lisa, as you said, the machine possibly breached the house again, and there was some crashing noises, and then we saw the SWAT officers kind of go out of view behind the tree.
Interesting, too, though, they also turned the lights off on the house. They had lit the house up for over a couple of hours now, and now the house is sitting in darkness. So whatever spotlights they had on the house, I don't know if that's it coming. That's still a different vantage point. The house had a huge spotlight on it from a law enforcement vehicle or something, and now they turned that light off, I guess, as they sent that machinery that went inside. But interesting approach here at this point to kind of turn the lights off on the house.
So as we continue to watch this, we'll tell you that, in that 6 to 7 o'clock time period is when this all began. And this was a normal-looking house on the northeast side, not too far off Beltway 8 in John Ralston, about a half mile north of there. This is the location that law enforcement went to find this man, their suspect in a shooting of a deputy the night before, 34-year-old Taran. His last name is escaping me. Green. We are in our 4th hour.
Yeah. It's a long night,
so they have done multiple things. They brought out equipment to demolish the front of the house to try to get this person to come out peacefully, perhaps to intimidate this person into coming out. Tear gas, as you mentioned, those smoke bombs. We have seen some officers in and out quickly from the house, and this is the latest activity that we have seen with some.
So there's no basement to this house, right? I think that's what we're looking at. My friend was texting me. She was like, "Where would you be in the house if you were hiding?" You said I'd be in the attic. I was thinking about that. I mean, the attic might be a good spot because those robot shits are. The dog can't get up to the attic, right? The dog's not able to climb up there. It looks like it has an attic. I don't know, man. I should pull up pictures too. They did send me pictures of the layout for the house. Oh, there. Ooh, that's the equipment they brought? Oh, shit. I don't know what that is. What is that shit? Wow. Dig sent me that. Oh, wow. I don't know where I'd be. There's no. Oh, you guys like Florida, huh? No basements over there? All right. Where's my other feed at?
Until they can lay eyes on her, and this can come to an end.
Right. There's no knowledge on our part, and perhaps they have, clearly law enforcement will have their own sources, but they have to consider what could be in the house.
Sure.
They do know that he is in there alone. We heard that from the sheriff this evening. He's alive. He's alone in the house. They want him to surrender peacefully, but according to law enforcement, he came out of this house shooting at them. So there's no knowledge on our part. But the question exists: what other kind of weaponry he might have in the house, and what kind of danger that could pose to law enforcement officers as they try to bring this to a close, and even as they get near enough to do that.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous situation, Lisa, and that's a very good point. I didn't even think about that, but obviously, he's known in the past 24 hours that people are looking for him in a massive way, like widespread. This wasn't just a little, no, this was a massive manhunt, and resources have been put in, and so it all comes down to this. And they would like for it to end peacefully. We keep saying that's the goal, but with some of the actions he's already taken, we don't know how far he could potentially try to take this.
And I do think that the wide perimeter, we talked about law enforcement presence.
Becky Blaze, thank you for the 6-month membership. Appreciate that crazy shiz in H-Town all the time. Lord help us. Becky Blaze, thank you for the super chat. Texas don't play, bring the wrecking ball and explosives. Southern Mom, thank you for the super chat. Says thank you for bringing the craziness to us in the only way you can. Wait, craziness to us in the way that only you can. Thank you.
Last time they deal with him before they take him to jail.
Mm-hmm.
You fell asleep?
And for those who aren't familiar, with the Gulf Coast Task Force, and the U.S. Marshals, they're the ones who are.
What's the temperature right now? Because I heard you guys have been pretty hot lately too, or even probably hotter than us, I guess. Right? You guys just are really dry, but right, you're not as humid as us, right? I don't think. You guys are more dry, but I think even maybe hotter. We have a lot of humidity. Yeah, if he's in the attic, that's so true. He's probably going to be sweating that shit out right now. Did he even make it up there? He's out of meth. I really would say the canines would be a good option, except for their concern. Of course, they don't want these canine dogs to get shot because they would flush his ass out. They would find out where he is. The problem would be is that he could shoot and kill the dogs. They would go right to his ass.
John Ralston Road at the Beltway, the North Belt is blocked off. So, and again, that's the frontage road is still accessible. You can still get by on the Beltway frontage heading east or west.
What?
But you cannot turn into this neighborhood on John Ralston. So you feel for any families that have picked up kids from daycare, trying to get home from work, and then they're hearing from officers that they can't even get into the neighborhood.
And I know our executive producer Justin told us a little while ago that we did have some sound from a neighbor who said he was evacuated. Do we have that? Are we able to cue that up about his experience from living in that neighborhood? Okay, we'll have it in just a second. But yeah, obviously people were coming home from. Okay, we got it. Let's go hear what the neighbor had to say who had to be evacuated.
I had just got off of work and I was in the shower. My wife knocked on the door, came in. It's literally, this is what happened. She knocked on, she came inside and said, "Baby, did you hear that gunshot?" I said, "No, I didn't." And then she went out again and came back and she said that there was SWAT next door. The SWAT team was next door.
And then when that happened, did y'all get a knock at the door or anything?
Yes. At our back door,
MJ,
the U.S. Marshals came through.
Thank you.
And pretty much told us that we had to leave as soon as possible because there's a SWAT situation next door. 2 officers have been shot, so we need to get out.
All right, that's what neighbors have been dealing with. I mean, he was in the shower when he had to
didn't have much time to get
out of his house, and you feel for these people. You only can imagine of where they're having to just sit and wait right now. Hopefully, they're at least in their vehicle with the AC running.
Some are at a nearby gas station. Daniela or Marvin was saying earlier, some were waiting out at the Shell gas station nearby. But we're talking about evening hours that this started being blocked off. So parents were outside of the house.
And I hope they saw his hand, right? They should have been able to see it. I mean, they know where he's at, I guess. Something moving?
Heavy equipment.
What's up with that? The hand popping out? I'm gonna play the clip again in a second. Go find me. Thank you for the super chat. I love freaking Bama. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says 116 in Lower Alabama. Miss Mojo Rising. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you, Mel. Shoot a cop, get show. Shoot a canine / officer, child. Shoot a cop, get show. Shoot a canine, officer, child, and innocent. They go real slow. See Gabe. Oh shit. See Gabe Go. Thank you for the super chat. Let's all pitch in $10 to buy that house after an Airbnb that thing, right? That wouldn't be a bad investment. Charlie, thank you for the super chat. Says, look at you tracking real crime, dissociating from trauma. Pause up to you. We know you have to get up early for your precious goal. Keep on, Mel. Thank you. And Femi Natali, Mel, thank you for staying up late with us. This shit is wild. That's the hand. Look at that shit.
Rudy,
that's
we've got our floor director.
Do you see some movement, Rudy?
What the fuck is that?
There's a
okay.
well, looks
is
like
that's
really
is that debris and then have him go anywhere.
Well, they clearly took away all of his options. They demolished the front of the house. He didn't have access to getting out because you have a half-mile perimeter of law enforcement.
And it's a cul-de-sac. You're going to see him. I mean, I don't know what was in the backyard, but you were going to see this guy. So, or was that the back? Was that the back side of the house?
That was the right side of the house.
Our reporter Jessica Willey has been there, and Wes Sewell, her photographer, working from a distance to give us those up-close views. Jessica, what can you tell us at this point about what you're seeing and getting a look at this point?
I mean, I'm just thinking maybe they'll walk him over here.
All right, Jessica is busy working the story there at the scene right now.
And they're repositioning as well. I mean, obviously, Wes, he's had to hold this position for hours and hours and hours. I think Jessica said he was on a ladder. So,
well, Jessica's so practiced at scenes like this. She's our go-to person when it comes to law enforcement sources. So, as you heard her kind of talking to a photographer, they're under the impression that once they get him off that construction arm, they might walk him this way handcuffed. So they're already kind of training their camera to this position in hopes they can get a good shot of him being walked over to a vehicle before he's put into the back of a patrol car and taken to jail where he definitely belongs.
He's going to face an incredible list of charges.
A long list.
A long list of charges. I mean, we'll hear about that later from law enforcement. But in cases similar to this, we have seen other defendants facing evading, aggravated assault or attempted murder on a law enforcement officer.
Especially when you consider that he was already out on bond and with a felon in possession. So
aggravated assault,
he already knew he was going to
going
jail for when he got pulled over for the traffic stop for speeding.
And here he is coming out right now. This is what you saw here live just a few minutes ago. That arm from the SWAT machine
got him down.
Got him down.
They must, and remember, we saw the SWAT officer yelling some commands, and it must have been what he was telling him: get on this arm, because he was able to then position himself and come down.
And not through a window. They punched a hole into the side of that house. Yeah. We began to see him moving in the background, and they had that officer there up on top of the roof, close enough to give him commands.
For a guy who opened fire on 4 deputies, it doesn't look so tough right now, does it?
He's in a humble position at the moment, but again,
that's got you. I never understand like these people that are so willing to kill and endanger other people, shoot at people, and then they go out like this. Which I'm listen. The cops did a really good job. Nobody's dead. Somebody could have been dead or whatever, so they took their time, but they were still applied pressure. I mean, they tore this effing house down, yo. And look how this guy comes out. He could have killed multiple people. So somebody that has that mindset, I wonder how do they become docile after a while? Like, do they? I don't know. Does their adrenaline run out? Do they come to their senses? I don't know. Mental health, like everything else, mental health. Wow. I mean, they tore that shit up, and I guess the dog, maybe he got back up at some point and tracked his ass down. Knew where he was at. And then the dog can talk. The dog has video, and I guess it can talk to the person. Wow.
The neighborhood, you guys just want this probably to be over with.
Yeah, we're listening in as Jessica interviews a neighbor.
They're just glad it's over at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in limbo for the past 5 hours, haven't had access to their homes because this happened right in the middle of a residential neighborhood in Humble. And so they had to have this street, Silhouette Ridge, blocked off and had to have the surrounding streets blocked off. So I know a lot of relieved people to be able to go home tonight.
Relieved to go home, and also relieved that a criminal like this is also just off the street.
That's right, because it is. You do hold your breath when someone who's done something like this has not been caught, and the hunt is on. But to know that he is off the streets tonight and will be back in jail, that's a relief for a lot of people.
Well, and it's a really common fear when a suspect that lives in the neighborhood. Erica, you've been out on stories like that too, where people remain nervous until that person is in custody. If police are in the neighborhood looking for him because that's a friend's house or because they've lived there before, they remain nervous until that person is caught.
Absolutely. And we don't know, I'm curious to know whose house this is, who the woman and the kids were. I don't know.
Yeah,
obviously, if anybody comes out and finds out that helped him in this process, then they'll face their own charge. But
they canceled the pursuit.
That is how it ends tonight. We saw him there clearly riding down the arm.
3 choppers are going, and they canceled the
SWAT machinery arm.
Yeah, the shot paused right there. You can see that. That laser beam from the rifle, the green dot, and he comes out of the house riding that pole right there.
So they'll take him into custody. And, another part of this story is that although some of the deputies, the ones that were injured this evening, they're going to be okay, we do still have Deputy Joseph Anderson, who was critically injured in the first incident. And
let me just get some of these super chats. There was a chase that I thought we were going to go watch, but it looks like it was canceled. Gonna give them another minute to see. Charlie, thank you again for those nice words in the super chat, and stay tuned for next week. It's gonna be interesting. Femi, thank you so much too. A lot of warm heart. Thank you for the membership. I'd be embarrassed to be this criminal. I know. Charlie, thanks for the super chat as well. Says Mel Chase. Yeah, we saw that. Looks like I know you sent that earlier. Monique C, thank you for the super chat. Damn, took long enough. Sky Love, thank you for the super chat. Charlie, thank you for the super chat. Mel, live, Chase, ABC, and KTLA. Sadly, I guess it's over, I guess. Chavacado, thank you so much for the super chat. Viva la Robo Dog. I hope you're doing well, Chavacado. Hope things going good for you. Let me see what happened.
Office that long, a whole life ahead of him, so we're praying for him and hope he has a speedy recovery.
We're all glad this is finally wrapped up, and hopefully all the residents who have been just basically locked out of their neighborhood entrance, not able to get in because the neighborhood entrance on John Ralston's been blocked off for 4+ hours now. Hopefully they're able to finally start getting back into their homes and get themselves a shower and get into bed.
Yeah, like Erica said, this is not where the story ends. This is one chapter. We're going to continue to cover this for you in the overnight hours. And on Eyewitness News at 4:30 in the morning, we will have a complete recap of what has happened in these overnight hours. Plus, we'll get response from law enforcement. We'll continue to work the story for you so that you can see what is going to happen next in this with the suspect and with those officers recovering.
And of course, we'll be updating the website and stuff as we get information as well. And then as soon as we get a news briefing, we'll let you know when that comes. But that's how it ends tonight. We appreciate you staying with us for this continuous coverage and getting this suspect into custody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Wow. Well, salute to ABC 13 for, they were like the main ones for a while, kind of. The Grizzly witnessed the pole ride. No, I don't think so because they were standing far away. They pushed him. It's not that.
That dude's getting. Yes, that dude's gonna get life. Yeah, life.
They're leaving now.
Did y'all hear that one guy yelling like an idiot? I'm like, man, don't call 911 when you need the help. And he got an ankle bracelet. Oh, he had an ankle bracelet. Oh Lord, the dude that was yelling out stuff, he had a leg monitor, y'all. Hey, what's up, y'all?
True Texas.
He trashed my live video talking all that mess in the background. What's up, y'all? Yeah, with the whole ankle monitor on, man. That man. He was like, man, they're gonna be booty buddies in jail. They're gonna be booty buddies in jail.
He ain't lying though. Oh, she's saying the guy with the ankle bracelet. Yo, thank you guys so much for tonight. What in the heck happened? What in the heck? Thankfully, it's not too late. Please, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I'd appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. Like. I guess that chase is not happening. I got so many text messages. Yeah, what a night, man. I really wasn't expecting, obviously none of us were, right? But like yeah, I was gonna walk in and go to sleep early, but whatever. Here, I had fun. Nah, no chase. Cancel. Wow, this guy came out on the pole hanging. I was kind of afraid at first when I saw his hand. I'm like, oh, did they crush this guy? Like, is he crushing there, or is he like stuck between stuff and they're gonna end up crushing him, or like his organs gonna pop out or something at some point? At some point, I was like, holy shit, this could be really bad. But I guess they're precise. They know what they're doing. Susan Murphy, thank you for the membership. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Oh, and once the baby's in school too, I think we'll be doing more consistent content. Back to that, Layla Light, thank you so much for the 8 months writing that poll. Phrase of the night, right? Holy ish, man. So yeah, and thanks Lindsay too for sending me the link, the stream thing, because yeah, send me the poll. Writing the SWAT poll. Oh, I mean, it's not really, but this is one of the things that they got, I guess. Rock. I think that's one of the things they might have had. That shit lifts up. Damn, look at that. This was 10 years ago. Wow. Oh, okay. They don't play. Wait, what does that thing do?
By an 84 operations on forced into additional safe barrier for team members when forced into dangerous, life-threatening situations on SWAT callouts. The Rook is custom built on the Caterpillar 287C multi-terrain loader powered by an 84 horsepower engine, 13,000-pound operating weight, rugged rubber tracks,
Oh, infrared camera and 4 low light video cameras. What? An infrared camera on that bitch? And they have other cameras around it too, for low light video, so they can see in the dark or dark lighting. Wow. 360-degree view. Wow.
You individually full screen or divide the screen into 6 views to see all RAM cameras as well as rear machine camera, giving him front and rear views simultaneously. In addition to breaching doors, windows, and walls, the RAM can be used as a surveillance instrument before the tactical response team members enter the structure.
Oh, so they would have seen this guy, his hand popping out and everything.
Hide or seek protection from ground-level exposure. With 4,500-pound lifting capacity, use of the grapple claw in removing fortified doors, burglar bars, or exterior shrubbery can simplify access for armed officers.
So that house tonight that was wrecked, do they even try to fix it? Can they fix that shit, or did you just destroy the house and rebuild a new one?
Than standard equipment forks. When the extraction forks are positioned slightly behind or in front of a parked vehicle.
And imagine who has to come back to that house in the morning or whatever. Imagine coming back to your house like that. And the shit's torn up, holes everywhere, clothes, all of everything torn up and shit.
When the Rook accompanies the bomb squad, it can be used to move a suspicious package or to place a bomb.
That's some dope shit. Anyway, man, yeah, thank you guys so much again for tonight. I had fun. I think it was worth it. I'm gonna go make salmon 1 in the morning. It should be real quick and pretty easy. Just season it up a little bit, whatever. Throw it in the air fryer. I don't want to waste so we can eat it tomorrow. Sniper got a laser on him. Yeah. All right. Marcellus Disclosure will be lit. Mama 457 Rose. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. What a night. The house can easily be repaired. Duct tape. Good night, guys. Love you, man. Get some sleep. Take care. We'll see what this weekend brings.